You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
The ominously named Strange Meat Pie.
The wasteland is a post-apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to see the rest. Nuclear explosion sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, gross atomic waste. From deep within the core, gross atomic waste.
Hello and welcome to the 543rd edition of the Fallout feed. I am Andrew, joined by Jess. Hello, Jess. What's going on?
Hello, Andrew. Greets everybody else.
It seems I can't keep both you and Ray in the same room anymore. You guys really need to resolve this feud you're having. Just, you can't. It's like I have to split weekends with you now. I don't want to have custody battles over you guys anymore. Can you just solve your issues so we can all get back together?
We're timeshare co-hosts this month. It's just February only. It's a whole timeshare issue. It'll be resolved shortly.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Tonight, we will go over a little bit of gameplay off the top, and it is a feedback episode because we're getting into some Roundtable stuff over there in New Vegas with we're getting the white gloves this week. Those gourmands, shall we say. So we got a little bit of feedback from Mr. Suliore. We got Calm Nicky, and by Calm I mean Calm Horizons, of course. Good buddy Lee. We got John the Shoveler and our good buddy Vanessa. So we'll hop into some feedback, and I prepared a couple of quick games for tonight. And some iguana bits.
Wait. Is one of them
pig corn?
It is
pig corn?
double pig corn.
I love a good pig corn.
Yeah.
It's all on me this week.
We're going, all on Jess. So one player games tonight. We got so pig corn date night version and Mohapalacha, Mojave Lappy, and iguana bits.
Wait.
What?
We did doctors last time. We did vendors a couple weeks ago. What kind of cruelty? What kind of torture have you set up for us this week?
This is one that I think you can probably be fairly successful at, and one I'm surprised that I haven't done yet, which pretty much guarantees that we did do it already. Maybe it could have been years ago at this point, but I'm pretty sure we've probably done this one already.
Is it various places to wet your whistle in the
Yes,
wasteland?
go wet your whistles. Everybody.
Wet your whistle.
Wet your whistles. Speaking of Family Guy. All right. So iguana bits and a couple of birthday shouts on our way out the door. So let's go ahead and roll into our gameplay. And we'll ask Jess. Hey, Jess! Did you have a chance playing the video games this week?
I think I played a ton of games this week.
You play a ton of games, or like a large volume of games, or a large variety of
I played
games?
a ton of one game. I played more games than I put on the list. I played a number of little games this week, but nothing worth writing home about. But I jumped back into Baldur's Gate.
Oh, fun.
Completely by accident.
Oh, you tripped and fell right into it, I assume, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, here's what happened. And no, we're not talking Baldur's Gate 3. We're not talking Baldur's Gate 2.
Oh.
We're talking OG Baldur's Gate original.
Is this it's not some sort of like modernized remaster or anything? You're playing like your old school version on what, PC, or are you playing that? Is it an Xbox game?
I have fully played it once before, but only once before, but I completely finished it. And may I say, OG Baldur's Gate is actually kind of a tough game, especially if you have a party without mages like I did. A couple of those final boss battles are rough. But so I played on PC originally, and it was like 80. I'm sorry, 80. What?
I was gonna say that game's really that old. Wow.
No, it was like 2015 probably. And
wait,
so
no
I
way.
played,
The first Baldur's Gate was only 2015?
No, when I played it.
Oh,
it came out in 96 or 7.
I was going to say, what?
Yeah. So I played it on my PC with a widescreen mod. So like I did, there are a couple mods for it. I made it look good, and I played it that way because it was the only way to play it. Well, right after I played it, the Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition came out on console.
Oh, God.
So
you got to play it immediately again.
Actually, to be fair, this is not a remaster. The enhanced edition is really just a remaster. Okay, call it what it is. And it, they changed the UI. They made it naturally, natively widescreen. It looked good. A number of things like that. They added some more voices to it. Some good stuff. So it was cool, but I never played it. Well, it came out on Game Pass last year, and how I fell into it was, I'm here and I'm getting near the end of the month, and I click on my reward stuff because I claim my rewards, and I'm looking, I'm like, wait, I need to play like 3 more Game Pass games this month, and to get my points. And so, in order to get them, you have to play at least.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say, do you just have to start it, or do you actually have to play a certain amount, time-wise, or what?
15 minutes. You have to. You have to log a good 15 minutes in a Game Pass game. But they have to be different Game Pass games. So, anyone who does rewards knows. Anyone who doesn't do rewards doesn't care. But long story short, they reward you for playing Game Pass games. You play at least 4, you get some rewards. You play 8 in a month, which is the goal. You get a pant load of rewards, like literal cargo pants, pockets and all.
That's lots of pockets to fill.
So I'm like, okay, 15 minutes. Well, what? I've got Baldur's Gate installed because that's looked like fun.
Oops, I tripped.
I can start it up, but I'm not just going to sit on the menu screen. I should create a character because I wanted to, maybe get the whole hello, you're in Candlekeep achievement while I'm in there because I don't have any achievements on it on Xbox, right? Of course not. So I log in. I'm like, oh, well, let me just, create a character, play with the menu system, And the character creator, not that complex. Well, I mean, your stats are, but as far as how your character looks, do you want to be 20, tall pixels, 20 medium-sized pixels? Do you want your pixels to have a red blob on their head? Like, it's not exactly detailed, is what I'm trying to say.
Blob up your pixels, come on.
Yeah, although the enhanced edition is much more detailed than the original, as far as your random assortment of pixels that looks vaguely human puppet shaped. Really, it's a puppet. That's what that's kind of what it looks like.
Remind me of the difference of what a remaster and remakes. A remaster is using the same old source material and just making it better, and remakester would be totally starting over from the beginning, but making it look like the original source material.
Essentially, yes, exactly. A remaster is taking the original code base and all that and just kind of polishing it for a new generation, a new system. So improving the graphics, maybe improving load times, improving stuff like that, but not changing any of the base game. And a remake is when you take the code and you redo a lot of it, like a significant portion, if not all of it. A full remake, of course, you're doing the whole thing from scratch in a new system or a new engine. But most remakes are still, new engines, keep some of the code, change some of the code. Well, a remakester is when Todd tries to tell you it's just a remaster, but but
they actually
a lot of it was remade.
Rewrote new code.
They
So
redid a lot
Oblivion
of things,
was technically a remake.
Well, it was in between. Because it wasn't it was the original game running underneath.
It does not
Unreal
look like
Engine.
the same game. I mean, it looks similar,
and it's
but
not
it doesn't
just graphics because they changed the way some things work. They changed obviously all of the UI, like very different, the menus and all that stuff, and did new voices for all the characters. Well, not all the characters, but new voices for a lot of characters. They have more than 8 actors now, y'all.
Yeah, I was gonna say
they
this.
have more.
You don't hear the same 4 voices over and over.
Right. So, while not a full remake, it was more than a regular remaster. And hence, we coined the term remakester.
Take credit. That was you. That was you.
It hasn't really caught on, but it's caught on better than some things, So, anywho, muffins.
Caught on better than Sporched, right? Come on.
No, people love Sporched. And they love Jingle Sporched, especially.
Sporched.
Yeah, okay.
That doesn't make sense.
Maybe Sporched didn't get as much usage as he wanted, but it got some.
Quit trying to make Sporch happen.
We've started a lot of things over the years. Some of them stuck, some of them don't, but they all made the wall messy,
Is the pasta
That's how that works, right?
Yes, that's how Telf jokes work.
So yeah, a long story, long by now. I played more than 15 minutes. And I'm like, well, there's an achievement for doing all my chores in the castle. I should do all the chores. Let's talk to everybody. And, combat is a little bit, feels different than I remember. Okay, I should do more of that. And then, oh God, I don't want to disappoint my, foster father, Gorion. Let's leave with him. And oh, it's my friend Mon. Oh gosh, we should, do some real combat. And so I played about 4.5 hours that night and went to bed late. And
15 minutes turned into 5 hours.
And then I played another like 2 to 4 hours the last couple nights. So yeah,
how long of a game is it? Are you like a significant chunk into the game by now?
So I am. I'm in chapter 3 at this point. So you get prologue, chapter 1, 2, and 3. And I did almost all the side quests in 1 and 2. I still can go back and do some of them. But I finished clearing the Nashkel mine. I've done most of the stuff around Baragost. And I'm getting close to heading to Baldur's Gate, the city itself, because there is a city called Baldur's Gate. But I actually don't know how long people say it is because, I take longer than most when I
you meander,
on average.
You explore.
Yeah. So if I look up Baldur's Gate on how long to beat, it says, what does it say?
And that has like different categories. It has like speed run and normal play. And
there are too many load screens,
Jess
Todd.
Playthrough.
Make this website faster. So let's see. Oh, it says 44 hours for
and Jess
main
speed
story.
is so that'd be like 66 hours for Jess speed.
Right. Jess is usually more completionist, which is 102. I am not.
Goddamn.
I'm not going to play the whole game. Okay. I mean, I might.
You say that now. Next week it's going to be.
I've got New Vegas to play. We're going to Old World Blues. We're going to Big Mountain next week. I'm excited about that.
MP?
And, other games on deck. Crimson Desert is coming out next month, which, by the way, Andrew, I should get it to you for your 6 months from your birthday present, and we can both play.
Sorry, what? Crimson what? What?
Crimson Desert.
Desert.
So
Crimson Desert.
This is the game I'm most looking forward to that's coming soon. Obviously, Fable, #1 anticipated game this year. Crimson Desert, #2. Jerry and Suliore and a bunch of us in the Discord are salivating about it. Like,
nice.
It looked cool, but not our style. It looked a little bit more like a Souls-like a boss rush game. That's not my thing.
Yeah.
But the more they show, it's actually like very Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, but in more of an action RPG format. So the one thing about it is they say it's not an RPG, but it is at least as much of an RPG as any of those Zelda games. At least as much of an RPG as Breath of the Wild or
Zelda pretends to be an RPG, but it's really just a fantasy game. It's really, swords and board
Right, it's a fantasy action adventure. And this it's going to be more action adventure, but it's got a lot of systems and fun things to do in it. It's a huge open world. It's as gorgeous as any game I've seen. It's really, really pretty. It's like Skyrim crossed with Dragon's Dogma 2, which I know you haven't played, but some of our listeners may have, and with a hint of, say, Breath of the Wild in there. It's just...
What was that? There was a game a couple years ago that came out that you were just supposed to walk around and look at stuff, and I thought, what was?
I mean,
what was it?
There are a lot of walking simulators out there. There's even that virtual photography simulator I played, which talk about meta.
That was hilarious. Yeah, that's really.
Would
fun.
you like to be a digital photographer taking pictures of a photographer in the woods? Well, I got the game for you.
It's just like I'm going to play a video game of a guy playing video games.
Right?
Yeah.
It's bizarre. So, anyway, Baldur's Gate, I'm having fun with it, and that was great. I did not expect to play it, and yet it happened.
That's awesome. That's really fun.
I did get in some more Fallout 76, a few more Foshnocks.
All right.
Initial super lucky first couple days didn't continue. I've probably done, I don't know, maybe 6 more Foshnocks. Like, not that many. I had 3 of them worth of Gato runs.
I haven't run Fosnacht this year. Maybe, I don't even know if I did it last time. But there are just so many masks I don't even recognize anymore. It's like every time I turn around, someone's like, look at my new glowing mask. I'm like, what is that? That's totally strange. You've got the wiener dog mask. I'm like, wiener? What the hell are you talking?
You got a wiener dog mask?
No,
I want a wiener dog
yeah,
mask.
me too now. But no, that was just joking. But seriously,
dude.
People are posting pictures all the time, and I'm just like, what the fuck is that thing? That's cool. I want one.
Yeah.
Oh, I should be doing Fosnacht, and then maybe I could earn them like you guys.
Right. If you want to get the thing, you have to do the thing.
Well,
it's like
they've
My
also
teacher always told me, if you want to succeed, you have to actually do the homework. Like, come on, I just want the grade.
well
you know?
the Atomic Shop has also taught me, oh whatever, I'll just get an alternate color variant in like 2 months anyway. So right? In the Atomic Shop.
You know, a lot of times they do launch the alternate color variant at the same time, quite often.
Oh,
But they haven't the last few. So, I don't
because
know.
I kind of like that corn mask that people are wearing. It's kind of funny.
You the little corn cob? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Is there a
I'm
sound
goofy
bite?
voice tonight. I'm goofy voice tonight. But no, you look like this, like SpongeBob SquarePants.
right? Yeah.
Yep,
Get
exactly.
the sort of bucky teeth. Yep.
Yeah, they're saying drunk SpongeBob in chat. Exactly.
Drunk Bob. Yeah.
The glowing one is even weirder. And then the
SpongeBob
bonehead.
drunk pants.
The bonehead is super cool. Like, I like the bonehead.
Yeah,
mask
the
a
glowing
lot.
bonehead. I think someone posted a picture of, and I was like, "Ooh, that's really neat."
Yeah, Rando did a good picture earlier that you probably didn't see because it was on social media. But it's just the glowy bits.
Social media. Who's on
Spooky.
that?
Like, everybody.
Ugh, gross.
I mean, not that many people, but a lot of people. Yeah. It was a fun. Oh, there we go. That's the one I'm talking about. Check it out in Discord if you have it up, Andrew.
oh my lord, that is horrifying. It looks like the Joker in that one Batman thing, or the Mr. Freeze in that. Yeah, that's awesome.
It was a fun week on social media, though. A lot happened. So there were a number of things that happened this week. So last Friday, we talked about Phil Spencer stepping down as head of Xbox, and briefly during the bits, and then Asha Sharma was named as the new CEO of Xbox with Matt Booty, and a lot of news there. Sarah Bond, of course, who was the president of Xbox under Phil Spencer, she is leaving the company. She resigned. So some real change-ups. And
What's
has
Spencer
led to,
gonna go do?
I mean, buy a small island somewhere
Roll
with that
in
Microsoft money.
Like his mountain.
Play a lot of games. The man is a gamer. He plays regularly. He plays with Xbox fans, and he's out there doing things. But yeah, he was just ready to retire, which, hey, can we get him a scorecation? Congrats on your retirement, Phil.
Scorecation!
Congrats, Phil.
You will never listen to the show. You have no idea who the heck muffins we are.
But I'm sure he values our scorecation.
I do. It's in the moment. I felt it. But yeah, so it's been tumultuous, shall we say, about that and other things happening. But I mentioned it because of just a fun thing that So some of the Xbox community, we got together. My friend Ben, who does a lot of commemorative coins and helped organize the last Xbox Fan Fest, had a number of, small, medium and large size Xbox creators and fans. And somehow I was included. So we all signed a poster, welcoming Asha in and stuff. And she made it her Twitter banner. So your girl is, her name is on the Twitter page of the CEO of Xbox.
Your name is on the Twitter page as CEO of Xbox, and you
On her
had your
profile.
name next to Todd Howard's fucking face last week. You are just
Yes,
celebrity
I
row.
did.
Look at you. You need a goddamn parade, girl.
Give me the badge for being close to cool. I'm like, oh,
I
this
am
person
on the
is
fringe
fancy.
of cool.
I'm almost fancy. Oh, this person is like, rich. I'm near rich. I touched
Oh my god, I'm like half a step removed from cool.
Exactly. But yeah, Major Nelson signed it, and Paris and Danny from Gamertag Radio and Kind of Funny, and so a number of large creators. But then they let some of us on there too. So somehow I was asked, and it became
Well,
our
that's
Twitter
very
header.
cool.
Yeah, fun thing. Another fun thing I've been doing this week that you may have missed. So I've been redoing some Fallout 4 photos with what I'm calling basically it's Fallout 4 with a Fallout 3 aesthetic. And it's using LUTs and video filters to get the green tint, the
say,
greens and blues.
You're bleaching light green everywhere.
Well, it's funny. So I've done a couple sets so far. I've actually done a bunch of photos, but I've done a couple sets, and got a lot of people liked them, and it's been fun, doing it and getting that feel and kind of giving the wasteland that gritty feel. But probably like 5% of the comments are all like, "It's not that green," and no, they're right. It's not quite that green. Sometimes it is though. It's like sometimes in the morning you look and just everything's green. It's very green. But so yeah,
you
so
feel like you need to have a snappy comeback. Your face is that green. Burn.
You know me. I just I more respond nicely, and I'm like, yeah, not quite, but I really like the look of the green, and like sometimes it is, but
thank you for commenting.
Yep, exactly. So, oh, this person says I need a mod of this ASAP. I missed this comment. Okay, I should hook them up. There is a LUT mod on the Nexus. It's classic LUTs, LUTS. LUT stands for lookup table, for those who don't know. And you can install it in your PC install of 3. You can install it in your PC install of 4. But it has LUTs for Fallout 1 and 2, 3, and New Vegas to kind of change the color tones to match the feel of those games.
That's really fun.
Yeah, it is. It's a cool mod. So people want to add the LUTs themselves.
Now,
that's what you can use. I'm using a mix of Calamity Weathers and my own grain filter that I
want the backward where you import the Fallout 76 color scheme into Fallout 3. Give me that mod. Can you do the reverse for me?
Did you know that there is a mod for Fallout 4 called Fallout 76 Weathers?
Weathers?
It changes the brightness of the
that's fun.
So look up Fallout 76 Weathers, but it changes the way everything looks. So while it's technically weathers, it changes the brightness of the sun, the way the rays come down, the way the color pops a little more. It makes it a bit more colorful, like the forest and such in 76.
I like the colors in 76. I always think that 4 and 76 are basically the same, but then you play 4 and it's like, the colors are way more vibrant in 76.
So Lee is asking for the link, so I'm grabbing a link for him. Can you play his music while I do?
Link. There you go. Got him a link.
There you go. I believe that's the one. Yep, that's the one. I just grabbed it real quick. I'm doing a podcast right now. But yeah, so that's been a really fun project and gotten some great photos. Next one I'm doing is I'm going to hit some of the DLC, and I'm going to do DLC locations with Fallout 4, Fallout 3 aesthetic. So look for that.
Need the Fallout Shelter aesthetic.
Fallout Shelter aesthetic. Oh, Fallout Shelter, how we love thee, right?
Well,
I still resisted buying that Star Trek Fallout game. That Star Trek Fallout Shelter looking game. Resisted.
I don't know. I think that sounds really fun. I wouldn't personally want to spend real money just because, I don't know anything about Star Trek, really. Even though I have been watching a little bit of the old original series. I've been finding some old episodes on some of my streaming things. So I have started watching a few episodes here and there. It's totally fun. I should really dig into Star Trek at some point.
Some things don't pull you in. Like you've tried Doctor Who a few times. Never really grabbed you on what you watched, right?
No, not really. But I just need to watch the right ones probably before I get it,
There we go. So I'm just pulling up my Xbox profile, see if I played anything else fun. Oh, yeah. I dropped the Duchy a lot still. Like, after we talked about it, I dropped the Duchy a lot of Saturday, Sunday.
On the left-hand side?
Where this happened. On the left-hand side. Drop the Duchy on the left-hand side. God, wait, when did he become English instead of Jamaican? Anyway, so it's a fun game. I played through a couple of factions now. What I actually did was I woke up Saturday morning, still in bed. I turned on the Xbox. I have an Xbox in my bedroom too, Xbox everywhere. And I didn't even get out of bed. I played, I was going to play a little bit of Drop Duchy. I played 3 hours before I even got out of bed. It was beautiful. What is life? And I played golf with friends by myself. Which, by the way, if people are looking for a fun mini golf game, golf with friends isn't realistic, but it's a lot of fun. And it's especially fun with friends. But you can still play it on your own. So, golf with friends.
I podcast from my gaming bed.
Yes.
So I can just sit in my bed and game.
Just sit in your bed and game.
Gaming bed. Classic. Oh, speaking of, since we're hitting sound bites,
What's that? That Dr. Pell?
Dr. Pepper.
That's that Dr. Pell.
That is that
I ran
Dr.
out of soda
Pepper.
yesterday. I have
I
only
ran
had
out
water
today.
and coffee today.
Yeah, I just had water and coffee today. But I had the best goddamn cup of coffee, like, maybe in my life today. It was amazing.
Wait, you did?
I don't want to interrupt
goddamn
your
fine cup of
gameplay.
coffee?
We can get into my
No,
stuff
I'm
here in a
done with
little bit.
gameplay. I want to hear about Coffee Talk, which, by the way, is a great indie game. Coffee Talk 1 and 2, both good. But no, let's do your
Really?
Coffee Talk.
Couple of towns over, there's this little town called Pendleton, Indiana. Very picturesque, sort of like quaint, small town Indiana vibes. Very cute place. Has this lovely little Italian restaurant on the downtown main thoroughfare there, and my wife tells me, like, as we're sitting down, that, like, oh, this was voted the best Italian restaurant in Indiana, and I'm like, what? Really weird. But you know,
Wow.
it turns out there's millions of ways to decide the best Italian restaurant. You know, just like if it's just write-in votes from people to a local magazine, then, you know, who cares what that says. But anyway, they did have it's a really cool, you know, place. Actual Italian guy owns it, back there cooking. But they have this cool presentation where they take this fucking, you know, 100-pound wheel of cheese or whatever, cut it in half, pour this, I don't know what kind of liquor it was, something flammable
There's
on the
liquor
cheese, and they set it on fire, and it's
These
burning.
are a few of my favorite things.
And
Go
so
on.
there's this big wheel of Parmigiano Reggiano, and
it looks so
with
good. By the
flaming,
way, I saw
flaming
pictures, but keep going.
cheese, flaming cheese, and he's sitting there scraping it, and then they dump like fresh pasta that they made, you know, right over there into it, and they just sort of like folding it in, and with the fire and all the like whatever. What would catch fire? It's not wine. Wine won't catch fire, but something, I don't know. It must be some sort of spirits or something. But it was just sort of amazing. He's like mix it on the cheese as the cheese is melting, and then, you know, they serve it up, and, you know, they you can get whatever sort of like stir-ins and mix-ins that you want. Like I got some Italian sausage. It was just fucking killer, man. It was really cool.
I love that.
But since we're at a cool little Italian place, you know, I was like, I bet you I can get a good cup of coffee here too. So I'm gonna get a. Let's see. Do I want a espresso? Do I want a? Let's go with cappuccino. You know. So I got a cappuccino, and I was just like, holy shit. She was like, you want, you know, sugar, any extra, you know, milk or anything? And I was like, yeah, no, let me taste it. And I was just like, holy shit, this doesn't need a goddamn thing. This is...
Just a perfect cappuccino
my
out of a
God.
real espresso machine right there.
I almost
Well
asked her for
done.
another one to go, like, as I'm leaving. It's just like, I'll be up for 2 days straight, but who the fuck cares? And I'm already thinking... Yeah, the reason we were over there is because, you know, my son was spending the night with a buddy, and lives over there in that town. So now, instead of him bringing my son back, I'm kind of thinking of excuses to be like, maybe I'll come pick him up tomorrow, just so I can stop in there for another cup of coffee. And they had like, of course, they had the whole like Italian thing where they have like the gelato, and we got the gelato, we got the cheese wheel presentation, we got the.
So you have a new, if not favorite, like a new.
It's
top
just
of the
really
list.
fun to. It was just it was a really fun sort of thing. Yeah.
You shared one picture with Ray and I earlier.
Yeah.
Of you know, just that it was fantastic pasta. We didn't get to see the flaming cheese and all that goodness, but literally they were mixing ingredients on this cheese on top of a wheel of cheese.
Yeah, it's just a giant wheel of cheese. He lights on fire and then mixes up all the thing, and
It was bigger than a Scardium cheese wheel. It was huge.
yeah, it's pretty amazing. And it actually sort of rolls up because the reason I booked this because I saw a story on like CBS Sunday Morning last week where they were talking about the original Alfredo, where it was created in Italy at this restaurant. And then there's the restaurant right next door to it, which also claims to be the originator of Alfredo, you know, the origin of this, you know, very specific
Are you okay
delicious
with me sharing the
pasta sauce.
picture with chat, Andrew? Is that cool?
Yeah, I can. Yeah. Or no, you have
No,
it.
I
Yeah,
ju-
go
I
right
just
ahead.
did.
Go right ahead.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, and but that guy who's there, he's the owner of the restaurant. He's the Italian guy who cooks all the meals. Like, so it's just really cool that the owner is actually still back there rolling up his sleeves, and he came out to talk to us, and like could barely understand the guy because his Italian accent is so darn thick. You know what I mean? It was just really excellent. And they had the guy playing the piano in the lounge with the tip cup, the brandy glass on the piano playing. It was just really.
That
Anyway,
sounds awesome.
that
I'm
fucking
glad
cup
you
of
had good coffee,
coffee,
too.
I'm gonna just start finding excuses to drive 40 minutes out of my way to get this fucking cup of coffee once a week.
It's better than Starbucks.
Oh, yeah, I did not even a consideration. It's oh my god.
No offense to any Starbucks managers who may or may not be listening, past and present Starbucks managers.
No offense to Starbucks. They have a fine product, but it is not this. This was something different. You know what I mean? It was just like you
Yeah.
could tell. Oh god damn! They might have roasted the beans in the back.
There was a
you know what
great
I mean?
Italian restaurant back in Portland, in the old port, that was very much like that, and just divine. And you could get some, amazing pastas, but they'd customize it for you, and the coffee was great. So I can definitely vibe with this experience you're talking about.
Yep. And the
I had my coffee with. I've been using a coconut almond milk unsweetened in my coffee.
you like that?
It's nice. Yeah, lower calorie. A little hint of coconut, but not much because the coconut almond mixed together. It's good.
I think I like coconut milk just fine, but I really despise the dried coconut flake stuff that you find in like a Mounds bar or on top of a German chocolate cake or carrot cake when they put the coconut flakes.
Coconut
I hate
is
that.
a great
I hate that.
flavor. To go back 2 weeks to Fashnacht, on Friday or Saturday morning, Shreds, who we all know she writes a lot of cookbooks. Okay, she's an excellent chef, and she made these coconut topped pancakes for us that we all woke up. And she's, calling us down if we're lagging in our rooms, and she's doing this thing. She gets these really fluffy but high protein pancakes, and she's putting stuff on it, and she dusts it with coconut and some kind of cream fresh, like whipped cream she made right there and stuff. And she actually pulls out like a little burner to toast it. She got like a hand burner. It was
Make it a little.
They were the best pancakes I've had in my
flame
entire
kissed.
life.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, they were absolutely the best pancakes I've had in my life.
That's brilliant.
Yay, coconut. So how about games? You played any of them?
Games? Nah, games suck. I don't play games.
Right? Who does that?
Yeah, games aren't any fun. Let's see. What did I play? No Fallout, actually. I did get into my Zelda game, the Ocarina of Time, still playing on the 3DS. Narrowly avoided extreme disaster with the 3DS earlier this week. One evening after playing, need to go to bed, just sort of flopped the 3DS irresponsibly down on the coffee table and went to bed. Come out the next morning to see...
Yeah, why do you say irresponsibly?
To see cups of water, because I am a cat owner, Jess. That's why you are irresponsible if you are a cat owner.
Those flippity flopping felines. What did they do?
What do you think? They knocked water over onto my 3DS. So I picked up the 3DS and water's literally pouring out of the internal cat, oh my god. I was like, fuck me. And then I tried to turn it on, the screen flickered and didn't turn on. I was like, god damn it. So I, after panicking for a long time, shaking it out, blowing it out, all that stuff.
Do the jar of rice or something?
It actually started turning back on, and things started coming back, and then, but the left shoulder button was stuck, and that was not, it was just always engaged, which makes you your auto target onto something in Zelda, so you couldn't change that. Like, it was just always locked onto something, so you couldn't run left because it makes you face that direction. So it was incapacitating. You couldn't play the game with that button depressed all the time. Sometimes you can get around that sort of thing, but not in this case. So, I just messed around with it more. I dried it out more and things, and finally got it working a couple days ago. So, extreme, horrible accident averted, but just barely, and I'm not gonna leave my 3DS on the table anymore, especially when I leave my cup of water sitting right next to it. I really should have known better. Really stupid.
It wasn't irresponsible.
Really
combo.
stupid. Really stupid to do that.
At least it wasn't something sticky, or coffee.
Coke or something. Yeah, if you got
Yeah.
sugary in there, then it wouldn't evaporate. It would just leave the sticky residue. Yeah, I'm lucky it's water. You're right.
I've had a keyboard or two that's happened to over the years. So.
Yeah. But keyboard, fuck, that's fine. 3DS. Jeez.
So, but when you did play
Oh, right.
Zelda Ocarina of Time, did you get anything into? I say something about a broken goon sword.
Yes, the goon sword. No. So I'm kind of in between temples. I did the fire temple, I think, last week, and I'm about to go into. And you were warning me about this a couple weeks ago, Jess. I'm about to go into the water temple.
Indeed.
Yeah, everyone shudder
Swim
and
high,
tear.
swim low, turn on things. It is like that one Dwemer ruin in the
Raise the water
northeast of
level.
Skyrim. And
Sink it
yes, you know the
down,
one.
Raise it up,
Mhm.
sink it down.
But way worse.
Yeah, you got to put on your iron boots, sink to the bottom, now raise the water level, now lower the water level, now swim to the top, take your iron boots off, now put them back on. Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of that. But in between here, before I go off to it, I wanted to run around to do some of the side quest stuff, and one of the big weapons that you can get is literally big in the game is called a Goron sword. The Gorons are the rock people in the Zora are the water people, the sort of fish facies. The Gorons are sort of like the bulbous potatoes, the big rock people.
The bulbous potatoes.
Yeah,
okay.
they are. They're big round guys. They roll around. But they there's a huge big Goron who's like 100 times the size of all of them, and he makes their weaponry and stuff. Anyway, you can get one of his big swords, but you have to do this just crazy amount of trading. Are you familiar with the paperclip trading thing where someone trades a paperclip for an item and then they take that item and trade it for another item and they just try to keep increasing the value and to see what they get? And some guy literally took a paperclip and turned it into a house within a couple years by just trading items for items for items for items. You ever heard about that?
Familiar.
No,
not at all.
Anyway, this is sort of a convoluted version of just trading items, trade up each step. And you start with an egg, and you have to take it, and you have to hatch it. And then you take the little hatched egg, then it turns into a chicken. Then you take the chicken, you wake up a guy. Then you wake up a guy, and some lady rewards you for waking up the guy. Then you take that blue chicken to her brother. Then you take the guy with the blue chicken says, "Oh, I love that chicken." And then you go over here and you pick up.
Hold on, this story needs a soundtrack. Keep going.
You get it. It does. Oh, she's playing the Forest Minuet. You get your special chicken, then you trade that for a special mushroom, and then you have to take the mushroom, and you get someone who makes a special odd potion, and then you take the potion, and you trade it for a saw, and then you take the saw, and you trade it for a broken version of the sword you're going to get, and then you take that broken sword to the big Goron guy, and he says, "I would love to fix your sword, but the volcano blew up, and I can't see anything. There's dust in my eyes." So then you have to go to the Zors, you have to catch a frog over there, then you have to take the frog to some magic guy who grinds up, who literally takes the frog, puts it on the table, and grinds up the frog and turns it into eye drops. So you have to take eye drops to the big Goron It's just like this crazy, like, trade one item for an item for an item for an item. Anyway,
I
if
feel
the
like
eye
there's a
drops,
moral of the story to that. I feel like, that's like some kind of children's book about trading this for that and this for that over and over
it very
again.
well could be. But anyway, after you get the big sword, it's just a fun item to run around within the game. But that sort of, for some reason, when I'm playing this, I'm having a really good time using this game guide on just the Zelda wiki or whatever, because it's really thorough and it shows all the things, and it's kind of taking out a lot of the sort of like aimless wondering and, oh gosh, I forget what to do here and yada yada. So it keeps me like more efficient with my gameplay, and I really don't think I missed would have missed too many of these things without the game. Like, I would have gotten most of this stuff anyway, but there are a couple of things that it pointed out that I was like, oh wow, I've never thought of that before. I'd never seen this one, or I didn't know that little prize was there, or just
Right?
sort
Back in the
of
day, all we had was Nintendo Power, and now
Right.
there are a lot more resources.
It's a lot more resources. But I'm feeling like really satisfied getting a nice thorough playthrough, but at the same time can't help but feeling guilty, like I'm cheating or something. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're not actually playing, you're just following someone else's playthrough. You're not actually playing the game yourself. And it feels just sort of cheap almost. And I was going to ask your opinion on like using a game guide to play. Have you ever just like sat down with a game guide and play through, or does that cheapen the experience to you at all?
So there are definitely games. There are various levels. Obviously I don't. Yeah, it varies. So there are probably a couple games where I have. For instance, our playthrough of Fallout 1 for the Roundtable. Did I use a game guide the whole time? No. But did I, use the nearly ultimate Fallout guide that I talked about? Yeah, definitely. And it sets you up a lot and gives you a lot of tips for at least the first, 2-3 areas as you play. And I'm sure a lot of listeners are familiar with GameFAQs, FAQs, GameFAQs. It was a classic site where a lot of people would, really dedicated people. Before there were regular game guides and all the online click-throughs and tutorial videos, there was GameFAQs. And there are definitely games where I have pulled up the GameFAQ and kind of followed along for some quests. You get stuck. Like the biggest reason to use a guide, besides when you're achievement hunting or hunting for like the last couple items on a quest, because let's be real, finding every gargoyle in Fable 2, sometimes you need a little hint. You need a little help to find out where they are.
Absolutely.
And other things like that. Every silver key. Sorry, Fable on the brain. But yeah, and every gnome, there are a lot of them. So they can help for that. But generally speaking, the biggest reason I use them is on my old adventure games. Because if you're going to get stuck in a game, it's probably going to be a point-and-click classic adventure. And you're like, what
the fuck? And
do I do?
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
Something
Exactly.
literally, oh, you just haven't turned around to see the thing behind you yet.
Well, what you really have to do is you have to take your license, and then you have to steal some gum from the trash can next to this guy. And then you have to go by this cat, and you have to pluck some of the hairs from the cat, and you stick it to the license and make a fake mustache, okay? Make a fake mustache. Wear that mustache, then draw a mustache in Sharpie on the thing. So now you look like this guy whose license you stole.
And how would you not know? That is Jess, that is so obvious to me that, like, how could you not know to do that?
Exactly.
Come
The
on.
cat hair mustache is from Gabriel Knight 3, and it is one of the worst puzzles ever made. It is legendarily bad.
That is a real puzzle. Oh my goodness.
It is a real puzzle, the Gabriel Knight 3, and I love the series. That was
That's
not a
hilarious.
good one. Yeah. Like, I mean, but everyone knows it's like Clark Kent in glasses. You put on the glasses, you put on the fake mustache, people can't recognize you. That's why those glasses that have the mustache and the glasses at the same time, perfect.
Oh my
disguise.
God. Different person altogether. It's just like how, really hot chicks, you pull their hair up in a ponytail, mess it up a little bit, and put glasses on them, and then all of a sudden they're like that nerdy chick at school, Then all of a sudden, poof, she glows up. And you're like,
Funny thing is that really works. Yep.
but
Do that plus a baggy shirt.
every
Seriously,
80s
people
movie.
won't even notice you sometimes.
Yeah. Good stuff. 80s movies. Did I play anything else? I really don't think I did. I think that was all.
The only other thing I played was I did do some more Avowed, but I have a confession. I don't think I'm quite ready for a new playthrough of Avowed. So Jolt's in our Discord. By the way, Jolt's, welcome to Discord. He joined our Discord a couple weeks ago. He's a good guy, and he plays a lot of RPGs like us too. He's a Starfield fan. I was happy to find people who actually like it around here.
Who actually like it.
You know, there are
the detractors out there.
No, there a lot more people like it than don't, but the people who don't are very loud about it. It's a polarizing game. You know the drill. But he recently started playing Avowed. Again, he's doing a second playthrough all the way through, which is awesome. He's doing the whole thing. So, like I said, I had gone through last week, and I gave the advice that you can't start a new game plus from the menu. You have to go back in. You have to get a new save. You have to beat the boss in the new version, and then you can do it. But it didn't take that long. But I don't really like the new photo mode. So one of the big reasons I wanted to play it was to take photos and try the photo mode. But the photo mode is one of those ones that just is clicky instead of sliders. And they try to make it more like a real camera, which is what everybody wants, except those of us who don't. Yeah. I understand f-stops and range and stuff like that and exposure. I mean, obviously
change your aperture.
Right. And aperture and stuff, but you don't, it gives less visual feedback. Sometimes one of the great things about sliders that you can actually like really fine tune it. Whereas when you have these, more real camera features, there's not as much of an indicator as far as where your range is, and you can only move it so much. It actually gives you less flexibility by trying to make it more realistic. And sometimes a girl wants to move her blur as close to a character as she can, But anywho, that was the last of our gameplay. I think we got to get into some roundtable stuff.
Let's get into some roundtable stuff. Oh, real quick before we move on, you were talking about Nintendo Power. Mo and I were watching something the other day. I forget, and it showed a clip of some kid reading Nintendo Power and actually calling the hotline and speaking to someone on the phone, and a video of the Nintendo Power technician giving him advice over the phone, and then what
did they call those guys? Were they Nintendo counselors? I think they call them counselors.
Yeah, and the clip ended, and whatever, my son looked at me, he's like, was that real? I was like, yes, that used to happen.
No, that's exactly
I was
real.
never allowed to make that phone call because it is a 900 number, not an 800 number. They charged you by the fucking millisecond for that phone call.
Speaking of adventure games, in the back of every Sierra Online game, your King's Quests, your Black Cauldrons, your Space Quest. There was a 900 line for Sierra Tips hint line, 900, and you could actually go and, hit the number of the chapter you were on, hit the quest you were on, and little by little you get, the hints revealed. It was a nice way to avoid spoilers and get hints, but it was expensive.
Yeah,
and parents didn't love it.
No, when your phone bill's more expensive than the game you bought. You're like, uh-oh. And long distance used to be a fucking thing, kids. You used to pay mega bucks for that sort of stuff. Well, 900 numbers. Is that even a thing anymore? Are 900 numbers a thing?
They probably are. Weren't there maybe not. I'm trying to think last time I saw a late night, hey boys, you still up by the fireplace kind of
commercial. I saw
commercial
one the other day when I was up at 4 in the for or 3 in the morning.
And is it a
for
website or a number?
Yeah, they had a website too, but they had both. Call us for a good time. This is so strange. I feel like I went back in time.
I just wanted to, figure out how to avoid the dang Gwithaint that kept coming down from the castle to bite me on the head. I was not calling porn numbers, Mom and Dad. You should be happy.
Yeah, I was figuring out how to kill the evil wizard in the ice cavern, I swear.
Exactly. That is not a euphemism. There was an evil wizard and he was in an ice cavern. It was not.
That'd be a horrible euphemism. I don't want to go to the ice cavern.
No, we don't we don't like the ice caverns. They're a little frigid.
No, thank you. Ew. All right. So yeah, Gameplay over, feedback, and let's get into some roundtable stuff.
What is it with the roundtable stuff?
We make feedback.
Let's check in with Mr. Suliore.
Hey, all you cool cats and dolls. This is Ace Rockwell back with another report from my trips around the Mojave Wasteland. Now, I mentioned the White Glove Society in my last update, and I really do need to check on them. If they're going to be staying on my strip, I need to know what's up. Walking along, in front of the casinos, you do hear things. Some are a little disturbing. Being pompous elitist is one thing, but if these rumors that I've been hearing are true, we're going to have a talk. I'd started hearing about this guy named Heck Gunderson. Walter Phoebus isn't a fan because apparently Heck had taken over his land. Heck is apparently some big shot bighorner rancher. He took over Walter's land and more than a little force was used. Walter wants retribution. I convinced Walter to walk away before he or anyone else gets hurt. I'll go deal with him. Head toward the Ultralux and walk past some naked chicks taking a bath in the fountain outside and walk in. Heck was getting drunk at the bar. He was pretty easy to spot with the bodyguards standing around him. Apparently his son Ted had been kidnapped, and he knew it was White Gloves. I told him I'd look into it. I talked to the receptionist, and apparently this isn't the first incident like this. Seems to be some serial kidnappings. The attendant told me she was more than happy to let me investigate the incidents. There's a rumor that's been going around that these people are being used in their cuisine. The White Gloves come from a tribe of cannibals, and there are a few of them that want to go back to their roots. It's not the whole society, so you can't hold all of them accountable, but still, the thought of it makes my skin crawl. But I've got to play it cool. I go talk to their leader, Mortimer, and I convince him that I'm a cannibal as well, and he was more than happy to give me some information. There was another guy that they were going to use for this dinner, but apparently he escaped, so Ted was the next best choice. I go to meet this other investigator, but apparently somebody had gotten to him before I did. Had to take a couple of White Gloves down. The investigator was going to meet somebody on the inside that had a change of heart. He never wanted to go along with it, but he kind of felt like he had to, or he was going to be dinner. He tells me that I could pose as one of the White Gloves, and of a way to expose Mortimer for what he is. Mortimer has a plan to make everybody eat people, and this will show the society as a whole that eating people isn't as bad as everyone makes it out to be, and they'll just somehow accept it. So, dressed as a White Glove, I go down and talk to Philippe and play to his ego, which that man's ego is about the size of the entire wasteland. God's gift to cuisine my ass. After convincing him to give me a few of his recipes because he's going to get a cookbook, I lock his ass in the freezer. But it was all I could do not to kill him. Bastard. After cooking the recipe with imitation human, I call up the waiter to serve the dinner. Then get Ted out of the pantry and we go up to attend this dinner. Mortimer's making some grand speech about how they can go back to their roots and it's entirely fine. Oh, by the way, you're all eating human. No, they're not, Mortimer, you psycho. So once everyone sees Mortimer for what he is, he decides he should probably get the hell out of there. But he promises this isn't over. You haven't seen the last of me. Yeah, whatever. You show your face on my strip again, then I'll feed you to Rex. Afterward, I take Ted back to Heck, and Heck vows to get revenge on the White Gloves, but I told him it was just one man. Don't risk anyone else getting hurt over that guy. He's not a problem anymore. And he agreed. Report back to Yes Man and tell him that the White Gloves have been taken care of, and next up, I've been hearing something coming from this old drive-in theater down south. I think I should check that out. Might be fun. But until then, why don't I turn this over to Suliore? I've had some people tell me that they're surprised that you're not a cannibal. Seriously? Why would anybody think that I'm a cannibal? I've eaten some crazy shit, but I'm not going to eat people. Well, you know what they say. It's a wild wasteland. Sometimes you gotta do some crazy things just to survive out there. Anyway, yeah, surprisingly, with my record of just going around killing everything in the wasteland, I didn't have to kill anybody this time. Not even Philippe as much as I wanted to. God damn, that guy was such a diva. Do you know who I am? I'm God's gift to food. But yeah, it was a good time. I actually really enjoyed the Ultralux and the white gloves. I mean, I'm not a fan of their elitist attitudes toward everybody else. I think it's been said on this show before that I never broke an asshat, and some of those people, it was all I could do not to just go and show them the business side of my weapon. But, I think the situation played out as best as it could. And nobody had to die, aside from that investigator and the white gloves who tried to ambush me. But, what can you do? Other than that, I did a little bit more exploring. Surprisingly, with this playthrough, I hadn't visited the Hoover Dam yet, so I made a little trip out there. And I also went and saw Camp Golf. So, there's that picture from the Fallout TV show of that, or there's that portrait of Mr. House, and they changed it to be Bobby Apartment, I believe. So I figured I'd go see it in the game, and yeah, it's right there in Camp Golf. Anyway, next up we're going to be heading out to the Big MT. I am very excited about this. I love Old World Blues. It's insane. So yeah, until then, I will see everybody in the wasteland.
All right. What was this part?
To be Bobby Apartment, I believe. So I figured portrait of Mr. House, and they.
What is this portrait of Mr. House thing he's talking about? What was he saying?
Bobby Apartment. Bobby Apartment. So in the Fallout TV show, you know how, and
Spoiler
earmuffs on. Spoiler earmuffs on.
Oh
Y'all
my God,
have probably watched by now.
La 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 la.
So, Ralphie Silver, who played Mr. House in season 1, and kind of in season 2, but was actually a body double.
The switcheroo.
So we've got Robert House and Bobby Apartment is what we're calling Ralphie Silver now.
I get it now, Bobby.
And so it was him in the picture.
Apartment.
Yes. Bobby Apartment.
You guys
actually
are
acknowledged
clever.
that. He actually, over on Instagram even, he's done a couple clips and responded to the community. He's like, hey, and he takes a big drag with cigarette. He's like, hi, I'm Bobby Apartment. So yeah, it's a thing.
So in reality, this character was cast, or this actor was cast as Mr. House. But since Fallout was an unexpected mega success, more than they thought, the budget has ballooned, and they can afford people like the guy who they wanted to step up and get a more high-brow actor. Oh, I just blanked on his name. What the fuck is the new Mr. House?
Justin.
Yeah,
Justin
Thoreau.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Am I getting in the ballpark of what is actually happening here? That guy was actually probably cast as the real Mr. House and had to become something else because we actually want this other actor.
He became a larger part of the show, and they did want a bigger name, you would assume. But I don't, it's probably no aspersion on Raffi's acting skills or any of that.
Oh, no, not at all.
Justin Thoreau has some gravitas. Plus, they might have actually, it's quite possible that they planned on the body double thing the whole time as part of the plot. That is very possible.
Okay.
Recently did we talk about the Todd interview? Yes, we did, right? Because Ray wanted to say that he said nothing. But one thing that Todd did mention during that interview was that when they were working on the show, the writers were actually talking about starting in New Vegas because, they love the setting and it's out west. We haven't touched it in a while. And first season, they wanted New Vegas to be a part of the setting of the show. And Todd said, hold up. I think we should wait. New Vegas, it has a lot of cachet. He understands how important it is to the fandom. He's like, let's not start in New Vegas. Let's save it. Let's work up to it. Let's start, somewhere else. And so that's why they started in California and wrote the show that way, which, to be fair, I think it worked much better for the show as an intro. The California thing, the slow introduction. Admittedly, Shady Sands. they did, they did that, but
They turned it to glass.
but it gave us time to get to know the characters, to see action outside of an area we knew quite as well, and then brought it to New Vegas. So I thought it was a good choice. But yeah, Todd said that they wanted to start there, and he actually asked them to hold off.
When they were creating the show in the first season, all the writers in the room together, everyone putting the show together, how long do you think that they thought at that moment that the show, like what do you think they were expecting going in?
About how big it would be?
Yeah.
I think everyone knew it was going to be good as they went on. But as far as when they started, no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only hopes. It's only hopes and prayers.
I know there's
right?
no way of knowing, but like,
But once they
I
were
don't
done
think they
filming,
expected this, right?
once they knew it was going to do well, or they assumed it was going to do well when they were done filming. I think everyone involved knew they had something special, but, it was going to appeal to nerds.
Did
It was
everyone hear
special
that?
for
Did you-
nerds.
I see what she did there.
So they did not have any way of knowing. I mean, unless they gave Mama Murphy a bunch of chems, to predict the future. They didn't know. So
They're feeding some old ladies. They strap an old lady
yeah,
to a chair, feeding her drugs.
everybody was surprised. Like the idea that it was the #1 show on Amazon for a second most watched show on Amazon Original Series ever. And it was #1 on Amazon for weeks first season. And this season, it stayed between, 2 and 6 most of the season. And then once everything came out, back to #1 again for at least a few weeks until this new mystery show came out.
And I think
recently.
that it's just overstates it that people like my mother are now
Right?
interested in Fallout, which
Yeah.
I've been doing a podcast about Fallout for what 10 years now. I don't maybe 10. I don't know how long. She couldn't have cared less until this TV show came along. Her own loving child, her flesh and blood, not enough to draw interest in. But
She
you
wants
put Walter
she wants to support
Goggins
you, but she
and a
can't
fucking
attend 4 hours
you put
every
Walter
weekend.
Goggins and a little bit of latex, then all of a sudden, sometimes a fella's got to eat a fella, like Lee says.
You just increased the humidity. Walter Goggins and latex for some people by like 3%.
Dry yourself off, folks. Come on. My wife knows him from baby buddy, baby Billy, blah 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 blah. From what was that? The Preachers show, The Righteous Gemstones, or something like that. Is that the name of that show?
Okay.
She
I'm not
knows him
familiar
from
with
them. And sometimes he says things as the Ghoul, which are like sort of similar to this crazy ass fucking preacher character that he plays in The Righteous Gemstones. And my wife just cracks up all the time. But yeah, that's what she knows him from. I did and then you think, wow, this guy's in like every popular show that is going right now. Does he ever sit down? This guy just never and he's in like every Walmart commercial now. I don't know if you ever watch regular broadcast television, but like if you watch sports, like there's tons of Walmart commercials and he's in.
He is striking when the iron is hot. He's been a popular character actor for years.
Yeah.
When a character actor hits the big time,
It's crazy.
They already know. They already have the
fucking
work ethic to get
advantage.
there.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Don't
Now,
stop.
admittedly, he doesn't need to try to sell me so much. He should have learned from his character that, you don't want to sell everything you're offering.
White
But,
Lotus, yeah. Suliore says he's in White Lotus too. That's right. I forgot. That's a third top 10 show that he's in.
Quentin Tarantino movies. Yeah, so much.
He was in the Predator movie in like 2016 that I like a lot too. Crazy. And that Fat Man Christmas movie where Mel Gibson plays badass Santa Claus. Great movie. All right. Suliore, thank you, sir, for your feedback. Got way off tangent there.
Enjoyed it. I like the route he took. I was trying to grab a sound clip, of the Ghoul talking about ass jerky, but I wasn't quick enough. I was too busy listening. Yeah.
Ass jerky. Sometimes a fella's got to eat a fella, right?
Sometimes fellas got to eat a fella.
My name is... What's my name? All right. Let's check in with Calm Horizons and Nicky.
Hey there, Fallout feed. This is Matt, Calm Horizons on the Discord. With me again, I've got Nicky. Say hi, Nicky.
Hi, Nicky.
And okay, so this is going to be So I was assigned a Yes Man playthrough, and so for this week I am doing the White Glove Society. And I had actually never played this quest before. I've never done anything in the Ultralux except take them for all of their money gambling before. So I kind of knew generally what happens with this quest, but I'd never done it, and I didn't know any of the specifics. So I was wanting to kind of just figure this all out on my own. Get in there.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, right. Like kind of a new quest for me in this game. So I sit down one night and say, okay, I got to get started on this. And I play for a good hour and a half. And I walk into the hotel and I talk to Heck and find out what's going on there. And I talk to Mortimer and I talk to Marjorie. And then I'm investigating or, finding the investigator and he's dead. Go into the steam room and talk to Chauncey. And then Chauncey gets killed by the assassin guy. And then I get down. Go talk to Marjorie and get sponsored so that I can join the White Glove Society. And then I go down into the basement and go and I find Philippe and he's all, grouchy or whatever. And I'm just exploring. And I talked to Philippe and I am me. I have no speech. I have no barter. And at this point, I also have no medicine. So I can't drug the wine to make anybody pass out, and I can't convince Philippe to go away in any way. So I'm just exploring down there before I figure out what I want to do. And there's this locked freezer, and I think, I wonder what's in the locked freezer. And of course, what's in the locked freezer is Ted Gunderson.
Is he dead yet?
He's not dead yet, but I didn't plan on releasing him yet. As soon as I opened the door and saw him, I immediately backed up and closed the door. Never mind, Ted, you stay in there. But then he just walks himself right out. And Philippe sees me having released Ted Gunderson, so Philippe goes hostile, so I have to kill Philippe. And okay, fine, whatever. So then I try to go along with the plan of make the fake food and call the waiter. But I made the fake food, I called the waiter, and he immediately goes hostile when he sees Ted. So
it's a little late for that. Yeah, you gotta hide.
You need to
call the waiter and then run to a different room. I try to fake out the waiter. I eventually do by getting far enough away that the waiter never triggers against Ted. Right. And so he takes the meat, he goes upstairs, and then I go upstairs with Ted and wait for the end of the speech like I'm supposed to and go and confront Mortimer and everything happens like it's supposed to. And as soon as all of that conversation is done and Mortimer runs off, the entire room goes hostile and they're all attacking both me and Ted.
Why?
Because I was fighting the people. I'm shunned with them now or whatever. And so I end up just running to the lobby of the casino with everybody that sees me just picking up their canes and chasing after me. And then Heck Gunderson's there and they start shooting and I just run out the door. I just leave the casino completely. And then I get a notification from outside of the casino that I've failed the quest Beyond the Beef and all of the things.
You are now vilified with the White Glove Society.
Well, I would have been vilified if I'd gone back in and started killing them, which I did not do. But I also didn't want that ending. So
you're just man, I'm done with this crap.
So by the time I realized that I had screwed up, I had already quick saved after letting Ted Gunderson out. So there was no way to fix it. I had to load from the save I started playing with and just start all over. And so I did, but a whole other night, right? I was like, okay, never mind. I'll come back to this. I can skip through conversations now. And so played it again. And this time went through the whole thing and got it through like I wanted. But I get to the end, all the way to the end. Nobody's attacking me anymore. And of course, when you let Ted out of the freezer, he's a real jerk, like a real entitled, how dare they treat me this way? I'm going to make sure they get what's coming to them. Who the heck even are you? That kind of stuff. And then I get to Heck Gunderson, and here's his boy safe, and Heck's all, who's responsible for this? And I tell him it was Mortimer. He's, the evil mastermind that's kidnapping people, and heck's all holier than thou. This whole strip is just a haven of debauchery, and I'm going to make sure that all of the food gets cut off for the entire New Vegas Strip. We're going to teach all these people a lesson. And I'm on a Yes Man playthrough. The strip is going to be my strip. So after I complete the quest and save Ted Gunderson and get the money and the experience, I then kill Heck Gunderson and Ted Gunderson and his bodyguard and all of the other people in the White Glove Society watch me do this, and they're like, yeah, whatever.
They
don't care at all. No one reacts. I don't even get negative karma. So
Mortimer sneaks in, just. I'll be taking these.
So that's how I dealt with the White Glove Society. They aren't cannibals anymore, and the people I rescued, I then murdered. So no good guys here. The end. Yeah, that's going to do it for me. Say goodnight, Nikki.
Good night, Nikki.
See you, Fallout feed.
All right. They're not cannibals anymore, except for you left some snacks on the floor for them. So yes, they are gonna eat. They're like, yeah, no, we're good now. You can leave.
It was okay.
Ted.
It was fine. Heck had already been shunned by the Legion himself. He was vilified. They had beef with him.
I see what you did there. You are good. You got 'em loaded up tonight.
But I tell you, the way that first quest happened, it's all order of operations on this quest. It is very delicate. There's so many places where things can go wrong. You can make different choices. But yeah, if you grab the Ted from the freezer before you get the Felipe out of there and people see things, it all goes to heck.
You slam them shut back in the freezer again.
Exactly. It's
get in there,
order of
Ted.
operations in the kitchen. You do not, cook something before you actually finish mixing the ingredients. So, well done. But that sounds like fun.
Beautiful.
And I'm glad he went back and did it. And I have never heard that ending before. Like killing Heck and Ted at the end. Now, when you get that option, as you know, there are various ways you can do it. You can personally incriminate everybody in the White Glove Society. Say, yes, they're all cannibals. You can say it's just Mortimer. Or you can, lie. But after you do that, when you say Mortimer, he does get upset. But you can make it clear. There is a speech check that you can use if you can succeed it. You can make it clear that it was just Mortimer. And, I think we actually talked about it last week, the one that I used, and I think Ray used it too. And you can say, yeah, but if you do that, they're just going to start eating people and turning to even, the strip is going to go to heck even faster. So,
The corn dog stand on the corner will not be what you think it is.
No, those iguana bits, they ain't
Iguana chunks.
They're
Don't
juicy,
need 'em.
though.
Juicy bits. All right. Thank you, Calm Horizons. And Nikki, let's check in with the shoveler.
Hi, this is John with my feedback for Butch Caldwell for Fallout New Vegas. I've got a free play week, so I'm just going to go over my stats real quick. Maybe I can keep it under 5 minutes this time. So right now, Butch is level 29. His strength is 6. His perception is 7. He's got a plus next to it, and I can't remember what that is. But anyway, his endurance is 6. Charisma is 5. Intelligence is 7. Agility is 7, and luck is 6. And he's probably got about 1,000 more points before he gets to level 30. Sorry, I'm trying to get to my skills. There we go. Barter, which is attack skills at 100. Energy weapons is 27. Again, it's got the plus next to it. It's got to be something to do with clothes, or armor or something.
Energy weapons.
And then his explosives is 22. Guns, again, is his tag skill, which is at 100. Lockpick is 82 with the plus. Medicine is 75. Melee weapons is 17. I'm not much of a melee weapon anyway, so that's why that's not very high. Repair is 45. Science is 80. Sneak is 23. So not very sneaky. Speech is 68. Survival is 100. And again, that's the third tag skill. Unarmed is 20. And then his perks, right now we've got an abominable. I guess that gives you some damage bonus to abominations. Action boy just gives me 15 additional action points for VATS. There's a lot in there. I still have Wild Wasteland, but honestly, I haven't looked for anything in the Wild Wasteland. Just what I come across naturally. There was one at the cove to get to the fort. Not fort, is it fort? The Caesar's Fort or island. There was one there, but I can't remember what it was. Maybe somebody will figure it out or can put it in the chat or something. And then Casa has her Whiskey Rose. I think we talked about that before. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot on here, so I probably won't go through all of them. Anyway, I'm really enjoying this. The pistols I really like. I still have to use the rifles, but I'm really liking using the pistols. It's kind of fun doing that. But anyway, I just wanted to say I really enjoy this. This is great. I'll have to download the Honest Hearts. Is it Honest Hearts? Not Honest Hearts. Whatever the next thing is. But I'll get that downloaded and I'll start playing on that for the next feedback. So anyway, thanks again. And it looks like I got us under 5 minutes this time, so I'm excited about that. So I guess me and Butch will see everybody in the wasteland. Thank you. Bye.
He mentioned that he had something that was giving him plus energy weapons and lock picking, he was saying. So I went down a rabbit hole real quick looking at different clothing, trying to see what item he could be wearing that would cover both. I don't think it is one item. I think he's wearing two different things.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, most likely multiple or something else. Absolutely.
I was just
Anytime you see the plus, it's increased by an item.
This is weird because I'm just thinking, oh, well, how do you increase the lockpick? And but here's something that says most hats. And I was thinking, hats? Why would a hat increase your lockpick? And it says +2 depending on perception. Perception has an effect on your lockpicking skill in New Vegas? What? Nuh-uh.
Even in moments of doubt, your strength shines through.
My strength shines through?
I bumped my pickle.
You are more resilient and capable than you realize.
Oh, that's a positive pickle right there.
Thank you, Pickle. I didn't mean to click it. But yeah, I love when he gets in and talks about the weapons he's using and how they work in the scenario. You know, that's good stuff to hear.
Absolutely.
Also, he mentioned Old World Blues and having to download that.
Right.
Going to the Big MT with us. So after this episode, which is a feedback episode, next week we'll be talking about Old World Blues. Now, we have Old World Blues for 2 host weeks, which means also 2 feedback weeks. Calm Horizons was actually asking in Discord, hey, where's the split on that? And to be honest, I just did 2 weeks so that in case, Andrew got busy with life and stuff happening, and it's a longer DLC with a lot to explore. And honestly, they've been joking in chat about how much fun Old World Blues is and the feel of it and some of the characters. It's the kind that you really want to explore and talk to everybody and do all the things. So yeah, maybe you'll finish in a week, but maybe you won't. We don't know. Long story short, we don't know where we're splitting exactly. If you want to stop where we do, listen next week. But if I were to poke a guest, I would say maybe up through like the high school horror area. Like we might not do, finish the full Old World Blues quest and like what is it, Attack of the Infiltrator? Is that one of the last ones? You won't remember this stuff, but if you're listening,
no idea.
you definitely want to get there. You want to do Welcome to Big Empty. You want to do, I think it's Strange Transmission. The Think Tank has a couple different quests you get from Dr. Klein, and then. Or if you want to just do all the Dr. Klein quests and do a lot of the story, then save some of the optional stuff, because there's some fun fetch quests and some optional stuff while you're there too. You do you, everybody. You do you. You don't need to stop where we stop, but we're probably just going to see how far we get, talk about it, and then wrap it up the week after. Does that sound good?
Sounds like a plan.
It's a plan. The plan is the plan until it's not the plan. That's what we're doing.
That'll work.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? All right. Thank you, Shoveler. Let's check in with our good buddy Lee.
Greetings, all. This is Lee Benjamin with the story of Laurie Finch in the New Vegas Wasteland. Episode 7. After rest and restocking, Laurie, Cass, and Eddie returned to NCR Ambassador Crocker for their next assignment. He told Laurie that attacks on NCR citizens are on the rise in Freeside. The attacks seem to be coming from the local leaders, the Kings. A Kings gang member named Pacer appears to be behind it. The ambassador offered two possible solutions. Taking out Pacer would require both stealth and an effort to direct the blame away from the NCR. Assassination was not Crocker's area of expertise, so he suggested a diplomatic solution, which was to work through the King's gang leader, who ironically calls himself the King, and runs their school of impersonation. This is why the gang members all dress alike. The King himself is impersonating some historical figure known only as the King, who was associated with the school they're squatting in. The rest of the gang follows his lead. Their dominance of Freeside is derived from their control of the water supply. They don't enforce much in the way of rules except if you want a drink. You buy your water from them. Laurie agreed to meet with the King and told Crocker that she'd learn what she could and report back to him. Laurie went to Freeside to meet the King. When approaching the King's School of Impersonation, Eddie started shooting at someone. It turned out to be one of the Van de Graaf's guards. Approaching the street he had appeared from, she learned that the Van Graafs must have gotten wind of her earlier theft of the agreement between them and the Crimson Caravan Company to limit the caravan's competition in general and their sins against the Cassidy Caravan in particular. They made themselves scarce for a while and later found that they could sneak to the school from the far side of the intersection. Entering the school, Laurie ran into one of the Kings who demanded payment to get in to see the King. Laurie talked him out of the payment and went into the stage area where she found the King reviewing an impersonation, accompanied by a bizarre cyberdog. The dog had a variety of cybernetics, and atop his head was a clear dome, exposing his brain to view. Laurie introduced herself and mentioned that one of his men had tried to get her to pay for entry to the theater. The King said that it was likely Pacer, just shaking her down, which he wasn't supposed to do. Laurie told him that she was there on behalf of NCR Ambassador Crocker about recent attacks on NCR citizens in Freeside. Not knowing her, the King wanted to establish that she was worth talking to and asked her to check into one of his men, Oris, who turned out to have a protection racket on the side. The King gave her a retainer which happened to be Orin's fee. Once she found evidence of Orin's duplicity, she reported it to the King. The King said he'd take care of it. Not wanting to interfere with how the King ran his gang, Laurie left it at that. He then talked to her about the tense situation in Freeside between the residents and the ever-increasing number of NCR citizens visiting New Vegas. He then asked her to check on some Freeside residents who were beaten up by some NCR people and were being treated at the free clinic in the old Mormon fort. Laurie found the fort and discovered that it was occupied by the followers of the Apocalypse, whose envoy had accosted her outside the Lucky 38 about planting a bug for them. She still had the bug and was still considering it. She found the Kings who had been attacked, and in their own way, they said that there was an NCR lieutenant involved. Julie Farkas, the local administrator of the Followers of the Apocalypse, told Laurie that she had heard about some NCR troops giving out supplies in the northwest area of Freeside, but only to NCR citizens. She knew an officer there named Major Elizabeth Kieran who might be of help. That evening, Laurie found the old store in the northwest part of the town near the abandoned train station. She found out that people interested in relief were being screened for NCR citizenship by guards outside. Passing their test, Laurie went inside and found Major Kieran. Once persuaded that Laurie was on a mission from Ambassador Crocker, she became helpful and told her that an NCR envoy was beaten by some of the king's men, which caused their superiors to limit the supplies provided, which forced her to change their original policy of distributing relief supplies to anyone in Freeside. The Major was clearly upset by it, but was doing her best given the situation. Laurie thanked her and left, thinking that the king's men may have thought it was undermining their water-selling business. When Laurie got back to the school, Pacer again accosted her. When she told him that she had information about the NCR, he tried to convince her that the king didn't need to know about that right now, and accused the NCR envoy of being a spy. She pushed past him and heard Pacer say something about taking care of business, and left as she entered the theater. When Laurie told the king about the NCR envoy being beaten, he said he wasn't aware of any envoy from the NCR. In his kingly wisdom, he realized it was all a misunderstanding, as he would have told them that he'd be happy to aid in the relief effort, as it was too big for him to take on alone. Suddenly, a king's member rushed in and reported that a gunfight had just started between Freeside residents and NCR troopers outside the store. Laurie was sent back to Major Kieran to stop the fighting quickly and present the king's offer to help with the relief effort. Rushing back to the train station, Laurie found some dead residents and the troopers shooting at an old bus shelter. She holstered her weapon and rushed past to enter the store. On hearing that the king wasn't responsible for the envoy being beaten, Major Kieran ordered her men to stand down. Kieran was pleased to hear of the king's offer to aid in the relief effort. When headed back to see the king, Laurie ran into Pacer. He wouldn't admit that he was involved, but Laurie had a suspicion that he might have started the fight. He wandered off, and Laurie headed back to the school. There, the king was grateful for the agreement with the NCR and granted her a favor of her choosing. Laurie asked that he use his reputation to put an end to the violence against NCR citizens. He agreed, but Laurie suspected that the final outcome would be the NCR paying the kings for any water they distributed. The trip from Freeside to the NCR embassy was uneventful. Ambassador Crocker was quite pleased with Laurie's results from her negotiations with the king. He then asked her to report to Colonel Moore at Hoover Dam if she wanted more work with the NCR. Laurie considered it, but really had her heart set on a few days' rest.
Yeah, no kidding. That's a big fucking trip.
Right? I love this season how we have the divergence depending upon the faction you're with. You know, whether you get free play, whether you get different quests. So obviously Ray was NCR and Lee's character is NCR as well. So we get to hear more about this. You know, and some people do the King's Gambit anyway, that this is linked to, but the NCR requires you to talk to the kings to do all this beyond the other stuff. So that was really cool to hear. And it is a big multi-part quest. You know, I like how he called him the Kingsman a couple times, and then in chat he wrote Kingsman as one word. Yeah. You know, and it makes me think of the movie, which Fallout Connection. If y'all have never seen Kingsman 2, which the first Kingsman movie is better than the second, but Kingsman 2, The Golden Circle, I think it's called, there is a great scene where they sing Country Roads.
Let me guess.
In the movie.
Walton Goggins is in Kingsman 2, right?
I don't think he is, but
he's
he totally
in everything.
could be.
Yes, of course he is. You just don't
he totally
see him.
Could be. But yeah, no, there's a very touching, excellent Country Roads moment in Kingsman: The Full Circle, which of course made me think of Fallout. So, you know, full circle.
Side note, I haven't looked it up yet, but I read about the only time John Denver and Johnny Cash performed together was a version of Country. So that is out there somewhere.
Really? Oh, that's cool. I would love to hear
Yeah, I'd like
that.
to hear that one too.
So you can agree with Pacer not to talk to the king, can't you? I mean, if you don't, you know, do the various framing
so
to kill
long.
him kind of things. And with Pacer there, I mean, can you, like, does he give you money? Is that what he does? I don't remember at the end there when he's trying to convince you not to. The king doesn't need to know about this.
What kind of weapons do the kings carry around usually? What are they packing?
I think it's a mix. I mean, they all wear the same outfit, but I
Yeah.
think it's a mix of rifle and pistols, as far as I know. They're not like, you know how a lot of factions do have like the gun that they carry, especially in Bethesda Fallout, especially in Fallout 4. Like that's very much part of the identity. But
Right.
yeah. Oh gosh. So everyone's in chat is agreeing that happens, and I'm hearing from Rando, who talked about his quest last week and stuff, that he took his money and still told the king So, I mean, you can double cross Peace or whatever. He's a rat. He's a rat. He's going to be dealt with.
The reason I was asking what the Kings are packing is because the fight between the NCR and Freeside, like, is there any chance Freeside has any hope of that sort of battle? You know what I mean? Like,
if they were to push it, I mean, while Freeside isn't protected by Mr. House per se, I think Securitrons would step up if there was too much disruption around the strip.
I didn't know if they'd come to I didn't think they would come to the aid of Freeside at all. You know, like
I don't know that they would overly much, but I think there's enough of a mutual relationship there that between people at the Old Mormon Fort and the people of Freeside, the people of West Side. Like even though the West Side, for instance, has their own militia and it's pretty strong, Freeside has the Kings mostly, and so I don't know that they would help Freeside much, but I do think if the NCR made an attack, Mr. House might see that as an attack on his territory.
Yeah. And is that referenced in the show? That interaction, NCR and Freeside battle?
No, it's not. Okay. In fact, we get in the show, put on your earmuffs, people. Spoiler earmuffs.
Spoilers!
People are very excited to see the NCR in Freeside when they, when some NCR people do show up.
They show up.
Earmuffs off. It was a quick one. We'll get into more about that when we talk more about the show.
NCR appears in the show. Oh my God! Don't tell people. Don't tell them.
I know.
Okay,
some people
now
are actually
Off.
upset.
Why?
Earmuffs off.
Why?
Earmuffs off. Okay. This is not earmuffs, but let's just say some people weren't happy with the show, obviously just 100%, but some felt that it was another thing that they needed to be unhappy with because they felt the people of Freeside should not be happy to see any NCR troops. And therefore it broke canon, which, you know what?
I see,
the NCR did a lot of positive stuff for the region, even if, it was also bad.
Yeah. I don't know, but I do get their point because, that isn't exactly how the game went, but, are we following the exact same storyline? No, not even close. So why not have things happen a little differently? It's the setting more than the actual events.
Exactly. Also, as a side note, a pickle is not an effective back scratcher. If you have an itch, do not try to use a pickle.
Man, you're not using your pickle right.
I'm sorry, I don't have much practice with a pickle.
You know what you're doing. All right. Gosh, we keep getting sidetracked here. Lee, thank you for your feedback, sir. Always such a pleasure. The last one for tonight is our good buddy Vanessa. Hey, what's up, Vanessa?
Freshly back in Vegas after a stint over at Nellis, Sterling Price ambles into the Ultralux. His attention is immediately drawn to a man by the bar accompanied by a bodyguard. This, it turns out, is Heck Gunderson. Heck is a rancher, because he pretty much has to be, being stuck with a name like Heck Gunderson. He's here to sell Brahmin meat to the casino and citizens of the Strip, but his son Ted has gone missing, and so he's plonked himself down in the bar until Gunderson Jr. reappears. Fearing the worst, he enlists Sterling to help with the search. May as well ask around the casino as a starting point. He chats to a woman called Marjorie, who's part of the White Glove Society, the group who seem to run the place. She fills him in on the history of the society, including how it's trying to distance itself from the cannibalism it was once known for. He tries to draw more information from her by lying that he is himself a cannibal, but she's not fooled for a moment and sends him on his way. Moving through the casino, he heads over to another white glove person, Mortimer, who readily believes Sterling's lie and openly mentions his plans to turn Heck's son into dinner, replacing a previous main course who's escaped back to Freeside. He also mentions an investigator who's been sniffing round the society in connection with the people going missing. Mortimer would like Sterling to return the escapee to them, but he decides instead that he'll go check out the investigator. Now in possession of a set of keys, he heads upstairs to the guest rooms and finds the poor guy dead on the floor, but in possession of a note with a time and place for a meeting. Just then, he's attacked by two men in white glove attire. Momentarily disoriented, he's pushed back into the bathroom before remembering that he's managed to sneak a sawed-off shotgun into the casino. This makes quick work of his assailants, so he heads downstairs to the pool area where the meeting is scheduled to take place and waits around until the appointed time. Right on cue, yet another white glove person appears and confirms that Mortimer is trying to return the society to its cannibal ways. He has helpful suggestions for Sterling on how he might proceed. Either drug the wine so that the planned dinner doesn't go ahead, or rescue Ted, deal with the chef, knock up a quick substitute meal, reveal Ted to the assembled society patrons, and expose Mortimer's plans.
Yes.
The former sounds much easier, but he opts for the latter as it seems more permanent. It's suggested that he obtains sponsorship to join the society himself so that he can move around more freely. Just then, another assassin appears and is dealt with, but unfortunately not before he can kill Sterling's informant. He speaks to Marjorie re the sponsorship. She must have forgotten his suspicious claims of cannibalism, as she readily agrees. He dons his new white glove attire and heads boldly through the door behind Mortimer and into the kitchens. He's barely gone round the first corner when a guard accosts him threateningly, so much for the outfit and sponsorship. He mutters something about being sent down to check on Ted and is allowed to pass. Further down the corridor, he finds the kitchen and its neurotic chef, but how to get rid of him. Sterling goes left field and channels his inner Freud. "Tell me about your childhood," he asks. This dredges up bad memories for poor Philippe, who hurries away in search of privacy, but not before handing over his recipes so that the meal can continue. Sterling locates Ted Gunderson locked in the pantry. Ted is not remotely thankful for being rescued, especially once he's told the true reason for his capture, and Sterling has serious second thoughts about the rescue attempt, but instead he gets on with preparing the substitute meal, the ominously named strange meat pie. He summons the head waiter to come and serve and hides in the back of the room until the waiter is on his way before sneaking down the corridor after him at a safe distance. He keeps himself out of sight in the dining room while Mortimer gives a speech about returning them to their past glory through fine dining, revealing the true nature of the night's meal. Once Mortimer is done, he steps out of cover to reveal a very much uncooked Ted, confirming that the meat was not human after all. Mortimer rants on a bit before running off, and Sterling leaves so that he might rid himself of Ted and be on his way. Back in the casino lobby, he reunites father and son, while also persuading Heck that Mortimer acted alone and that the entire strip shouldn't be punished for what happened. This has all been a messy and troubling experience. In search of sanity, he thinks he'll go hang out with the NCR at Camp Golf for a bit before he completely burns his bridges with them by working with Yes Man. On the long trek over there, he realises that despite the brush with cannibalism, he's not been able to answer the age-old question, do we really taste like chicken? And just what in the heck Gunderson is a chicken anyway? Thank you very much, everyone. See you in the wasteland. Bye.
She can weave a little story, can't she?
Absolutely. I really enjoy the way that she words things sometimes. A couple that really caught my ear were like, replace the previous main course. Who's escaped off to Freeside? I like that.
That was great. The something about the uncooked Ted or something like
yes,
the
very much
uncooked Ted. Yeah.
I mean that would make a person question who they just ate if their meal was very much uncooked and also not on their plate.
Like, hey, you wait. You no wait.
Absolutely. But, one thing in the middle, she brings up, the different routes you can take, like which we talked about, but she mentioned the former versus latter. And one thing we didn't talk about is if you're a dirty, dirty cannibal, one of those people, you can actually use a speech check with Mortimer earlier on in the mission. And, you can convince him that if you are a cannibal, you can say you're a cannibal, or you can use speech check and lie and say, that you are a cannibal, and he will reveal his whole plan to you. Now, it's not a path most of us take. Usually we just get the key and go to the investigator, etc. But you can go down the route of trying to convince Mortimer you're a cannibal if you like. I thought that was neat.
Very sweet.
What in the heck, Gunderson, indeed.
And who, it can't be on the menu listed as such. Like, there just has to be called what the item is called in game, but in real life, there's no way it's on the menu it's called this. But what do you think it would be called on the menu? What would you refer to strange meat pie as on Because no one's gonna fucking order that shit. Come on. But I guess they don't. You have to be part of the society in which you would actually go to a specific ceremony in order to get the strange meat pie anyway, right? So, but then why would it be called strange meat pie if you're already in a society that knows what it is?
It's only strange meat pie to those of us who look at it. Just so you know, the tool tips that pop up are not necessarily the real main of the food.
That's not what they're called on the menu, right? Because no one in their right mind would order.
Us looking at it calls it a strange meat pie.
We're like,
they
ew,
might
what is
call
that?
it,
yes.
they might call it top shelf steak. I don't know.
Lunch is what they call it.
Lunch. Yes, lunch. A good start.
Yum.
And does human taste like chicken? Now, I would assume not. I know everything tastes like chicken.
Everything tastes like
like
chicken.
snake and alligator stuff like that. Sure,
Turtle.
sure.
Yeah.
But humans,
Squirrel.
I mean,
Possum.
we're not really white meat, are we? I feel like
Capybara.
I feel like we'd be a little bit
Guinea
juicier
pigs.
and not really chicken-esque.
Hedgehogs. Wait, what?
Hedgehogs taste like chicken?
No, I'm sorry. I'm just listing things now. Anteaters.
Porcupine.
Oh,
Once you just find them.
When I was in Maine, Jess, I saw the cutest porcupines. You guys in Maine have the cutest little porcupines. So sweet.
We do have cute porcupines for sure.
They're not very huggable, but God, they're fucking cute. Right. Thank you, Vanessa, and another round of thanks.
We
to
appreciate your
Suliore,
feedback.
Calm
And this
Nicky,
one-
Shoveler, Lee, and Vanessa. Sorry, yes?
This one goes out to all our cannibals out there.
Chicken, 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 chicken,
Yeah.
chicken, 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 chicken.
Eat it.
Chicken.
Long pig tastes like chicken.
Long pig tastes like chicken. That ain't pork, baby. That ain't pork.
That ain't. All right. Thank you for the feedback, you guys.
Also, no pork in the chickens. You're not,
don't
a salesman.
Don't do that. All right. So we have a little bit of game time tonight.
What time is it? Game time! Boom!
All right. So we haven't played Pigcorn in forever, so I decided to toss together a Pigcorn.
Pigcorn?
Tori and I went on a date night tonight. So described it earlier, the whole cheese wheel thing. So what I did for game time tonight is I'm preparing us a night out on the town. We're getting a meal out and about. We have 5 courses to this meal: an appetizer, a soup, an entree, a dessert, and a beverage.
Wow. Okay.
So
it's a 7-course pigcorn.
this we're
It's not
getting
long
the courses.
pigcorn.
Not long. Ooh, gross. No. It's a short pig corn. What would a short pig be? All right. So for our appetizer,
Guinea pigs.
guinea pigs. Ooh, gross.
Don't eat. Oh no, I was thinking mini pigs, like those little guys. Do not eat the guinea pigs.
Don't do that. So for our appetizer, Jess, for pigcorn, just a quick refresher out there. I'm just giving her some clues. Usually I go with synonyms and which lead her to an answer. Pigcorn, I forget what we were going for. Swine, wheat, I don't remember. But pigcorn is a cute little drop our good buddy Vendertron gave us.
Pigcorn?
Yes, Vendertron. So we will get to our appetizer here, Jess. So if we're having an appetizer out here, pigcorn date night, we're eating lizard on a twig. What is our appetizer?
Iguana on a stick.
Iguana on a
steak.
steak. Yes, very good. Tasty appetizer. All right. Second round is our soup.
Oh, a soup. Okay.
Soup. If we have a nice big bowl of tick gazpacho, what kind of soup are we having?
Oh God, you're not gonna make me say flea soup, are you?
Flea soup. Good job.
No.
You're nailing these. All right.
That was a real head scratcher, though.
This is my favorite course in the meal, the entree. We have beef in a blanket. Beef in a blanket.
In a blanket. So normally I would be picking a blanket, but this is not what it is here. It's something different. Beef is Brahmin.
Mm-hmm.
But what would he put a Brahmin in? That would be like a blanket. I mean, just Brahmin pie? What course is this that we're talking about?
This is our main entree, and this is
Our
a
main-
dish served at the... Wait, what's it called? Not the Ultra Lux. What is the White Gloves place called?
Oh, is it beef bourguignon?
Oh, no. Beef... Very close. Beef Wellington. That was the blanket
Wellington,
part I was going
of
with
course
that,
it
the
is.
baked pie part, yeah.
So it's beef and galoshes. Got it.
Pretty much. Beef and galoshes. That's much better. All right. For our desserts, we are having the weird flesh tart.
Strange meat.
The strange meat.
That doesn't make a good dessert, by the way.
No, that's a
Dessert
terrible
should be
dessert.
refreshing.
All right, and our beverage to wash everything down, we're having a Dusk root beer. Dusk root beer.
Is that a Sunset Sarsaparilla?
Sunset Sarsaparilla. You got them all, lady. Good job. Serving dinner out. All right, for our next round here on Game Time.
What time is it? Game time! Woo!
Mojappy Latchy. All right, so I'm pretty sure we've played this in the past at some point, but let's do it again anyway. In Fallout New Vegas, and I had to sneak this in because Ray's not here. He would be cursing and moaning about how horrible followers are. They get in your door pads, you can't get them out of the way, and they're just like impossible to control. So, since Ray is out tonight, we'll take the liberty and play with some companions. Mojappy Latchy companions. All right, Jess, who's further north? This is where you pick them up. This is where you find them, of course. You know,
Okay.
they're their point of origin. All the followers in Fallout New Vegas. Who is further north? Rex or Veronica? Rex or Veronica? Further
Rex
north.
is further north.
That is correct. Okay, further south, do you have Raul or Eddie? Raul?
This one's a little bit tough because they're more parallel than you would think. But it would be Eddie.
Eddie is correct. Good job. All right, further east, Jess, further east. Do we have our good buddy Boone up there in the T-Rex or Arcade Gannon? The
I can get
pretentious
this one
weird
with one
doctor
shot.
guy.
It would be Boone.
Ooh, one shot. She is loaded with them tonight. Ooh!
Good job.
Okay. So furthest west, do we have Cass or Lily? Cass or Lily?
So as far west as Lily is, I would say Cass is drowning her sorrows a little further west.
Oh, sorry. That was your first miss of the night.
Are you serious? The Mojave
Lily,
Outpost
Lily.
is not as... Oh, wow.
She's
See,
tucked
you know what
up
I
in
should have
there,
done?
yeah.
I should have looked at at Lee's cool new map he dropped
Oh,
in
he
chat
does
earlier.
have a cool new map. I saw that.
You know what? I've just pulled it up, and yeah, they are slightly further west. Like,
Yeah, just
they're
barely.
essentially north, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well
That's just
done.
barely off. Well, that was great. Thank you for playing Game Time.
What time is it? Game time! Woo!
All right. So for the rest of the show, it looks like we got some iguana bits.
Jessica, to the office, please. Jessica, to the office. Your iguana bits are ready. Please come pick them up.
Yum.
Thank you very much. These are not strange bits. These are good bits. Although the first bit is a little strange. I'm going to drop a little YouTube link in chat. This is not a
Ooh.
breaking news bit. This is not something brand new. But about 8 months ago, yeah, that's how cold it is, at BrickCon, or Brick World Chicago, end of last summer, beginning of fall, there was this insane Fallout build that I only just saw this week. Some YouTube videos are making the round. So I dropped a YouTube video in there. There's an even better one from Beyond the Brick, but I shared one in chat that I liked.
Oh, is that a Deathclaw? Look at that guy.
Yes, they had like 10 Lego Master Builders come together. They did this for this Brick World exposition, and they recreated a lot of the Western Wasteland. But not only did they do everything on top with all the bricks and, you know, the different like notable locations. I mean, there's a Slocum's Joe in there. There's a Red Rocket in there. There's a bunch of stuff, and they didn't use a Red Rocket kit like some of us did. You know, it's their own creation. But beneath it, there's a vault door that actually opens, and beneath it, they built like a Fallout shelter vault all around the edge. There are multi-layer levels of the diner, and
America
you know,
won't
the
beat China.
exactly, and the power room, and all that. It's just really, really cool. So yeah, you look up. It's Fallout New California Wilds. Brick World Chicago 2025 Lego build. You can find it, I think, just searching Lego Fallout build collaborative. It's huge.
Very neat.
I was surprised at how large it was. You know, it's really awesome. And it's so detailed. And yeah, I was just really impressed. So check it out. But that's not the biggest thing this week.
What's the biggest thing?
It's not even the biggest thing this year.
Uh-oh. Biggest of the year? Do you have another
Breaking
picture of you
news.
near Todd?
No, I've never gotten near Todd yet. I can go within 50 feet. No, kidding. So, biggest news
Got a piece of
the
paper
year.
says I can't go within 50 feet.
It's actually the biggest tweet of the year, is how I should probably put it. Came, and by the way, thanks to RTZ in our Discord and also in the We Just Love Games Discord for sharing this. Josh Sawyer posted on February 26th at 7:42 a.m. And I quote, "The time for posting has ended. The time of making games is upon me. Send tweet." Josh Sawyer, y'all know who Josh Sawyer is, but obviously he is design director and writer at Obsidian. He is responsible as one of the directors and writers for Fallout New Vegas and for many great Obsidians over the years, considered one of the best writers in games. His most recent big game being Pentiment, which was, of course, actually a smaller game, but got a lot of accolades because it was really well done. Well, he's been consulting on a couple of recent Obsidian projects. He's done this and that, but he hasn't been working on a game that we knew of. But he's been doing social media stuff. He posts, he talks a lot. He streams sometimes and gives fun anecdotes, and he's great to listen to. But y'all, the time for posting has ended. The time of making games is upon him. So, breaking news. I'm excited.
But what is it?
That's harder than Mojapalachia. We don't know.
Oh,
But,
I thought he was
there's-
announcing something. He's just saying, "Oh, hey, I'm making
He's making a game.
something.
He's working on a game. That's exciting.
Get excited for
He's been dragging his heels for a couple years now.
something. My great project stuff."
Here's the thing to remember. We've talked about it a little bit, but John Gonzalez, the lead quest writer for Fallout New Vegas, came back to Obsidian 2 or 3 years ago. Tim Kaine went back full-time at Obsidian end of October of last year. So the team, they're getting the team back together, getting the band back together. It's a lot of great people over there, and I don't know if Josh is on the same project with them or if he's on something different, but, it's exciting times at Obsidian. But we probably have to wait a little while. I mean, we just got Avowed a year ago. Now on PlayStation, just came out on PlayStation. We got Outer Worlds 2 6 months ago. So we've probably got a good 3 years to wait, but we'll see. I'm easily excited, but I thought it was the biggest tweet of the year.
Yeah.
Question mark.
Have I played anything Obsidian besides New Vegas? I don't think so.
Have you
I played a
played
little
South
bit
Park
of-
Stick of Truth? Did you play
I
South
have
Park Stick of Truth?
not. No.
Did
But
you
I've always
play-
wanted to.
Did you play Neverwinter's Nights 2? Did you play
Nope.
Knights of the Old Republic 2?
Oh, KOTOR, right? Yeah.
2. KOTOR 2.
Oh, 2? I don't know.
One of the coolest
Maybe.
things, or I shouldn't necessarily say coolest, but one of the things Obsidian has been known for over the years, especially before about 10 years ago, is they often came in and they made the second or third game in a franchise. So, you love Neverwinter Nights, here's Neverwinter Nights 2. We'll put a little more story in it, which is what they do. You like KOTOR, here's KOTOR 2. It was awesome. You like Dungeon Siege, the classic dungeon crawling RPG, one of the very first RPGs without loading screens, by the way. You hear that, Todd? They did it back in 2001. So Dungeon Siege 1 and 2 were awesome, but then years in between, they did Dungeon Siege 3 around 2014, which, by the way, is a severely underrated game. I like it.
Dungeon Siege 3 specifically?
The year that it came out, actually it was maybe 2012, because it came out the same year as Fable 3. That year I would have said that Dungeon Siege 3 was the better game with 3 in the name. But
Very descriptive of what the contents of the game are.
Yeah. Well, it was like that. It's an action RPG, third-person action RPG, a little bit isometric. It has that Diablo kind of feel, but more of an RPG.
Right.
So, yeah, that kind of style. The truth is, and again, over time, I would say, obviously, Fable 3 grew on me, but that year I was pretty disappointed. So, anywho, Obsidian. Let's see. Here's some actual Fallout news for y'all. Not just Legos, not just Obsidian. But, you guys, we are literally 5 days from the next big Fallout 76 update. The Backwoods update coming March 3rd. We get a new season. We get new stuff. The event rebalance game we're talking about. There have been a little more details coming out now. They've talked about it. John Rush did a little developer talk about some of the features. It's up on fallout.bethesda.net, but also, of course, on the Bethesda Softworks YouTube, as always, and on their socials. It's about 2.5 minutes long, talking about some features. One of the features he talked about is really cool. So we talked about the event rebalancing, right? And how the number of rewards you're getting for various events, they'll be lowered for a couple of the most popular ones, which, sorry guys, but you can only evict people so often. After a while, you feel like a jerk landlord.
Let's wish the landlord, let's wish the landlord, let's wish the landlord back, the landlord back.
So, going in there, we're getting a new feature. There's a random chance after any of these public events, so just public ones, that a party crasher can show up.
Party Smasher is pretty sweet too, though.
I like Party Smasher, right? That's why I wrote that. Party Smasher. But who do you think would be a good party crasher, Andrew? Any thoughts?
For any specific party?
Well, I mean, in Fallout 76, after you're done smiting your foes and doing a fun event, maybe, putting teas on tables and such.
Putting teas on tables and such.
Is the Bolton Greens, is that a public event? I don't think it is. Is Tea Time a public event? I think it is.
Oh,
but any of the big
with the
public
plates
events
and stuff? That one?
Yeah, nobody wants that one. Okay, so I'm talking after a real public event that you enjoy.
A real public event that I enjoy? I don't know, the one with all the super mutants around the radioactive thing down in the pit. It's really fun.
That's eviction notice we were just talking about.
Eviction notice. Okay,
yeah.
that one's not called. Okay.
That's good.
Different one.
Moonshine Jamboree, maybe.
Yeah, those
fighting
are
gulpers.
Fun. That flowery bee one was really fun. That new
that
event
one is fun.
What is that one called? I don't know what that's called. It's called the flowery bee one, I think.
No, it's something like nervous, but I forget. Gosh, you guys, I haven't done enough random. See, this is why they're doing this update, because we haven't done some of the smaller events in Fallout 76 as much recently, So.
I always did the one where the drill comes up from the ground and you have to empty out
Big Bloom.
Big Bloom.
So, sorry, that's not the one I thought you were talking about. I thought you were talking about the one about the robot who's, nervous.
Oh, no.
And has a phobia about the bees.
Oh, that one's cute too.
Yeah, what's that called?
Way out there in the west. Nope, not gonna remember it.
Irrational fear.
There you go.
Thank you. Rando for the win. See, Campfire Tales, I know that's a big one, but irrational fear, like nervous. No, almost
Nervous Nelly.
Nervous Nelly, the event. He's a nervous robot. Look at him.
Scorchbeast Queen. Is that an event?
Yeah, that's an event. So anyway, who would crash these events? This is the question. We're avoiding it.
The Scorchbeast Queen?
I mean, Scorchbeast Queen could crash an event, but I do not
That'd
believe...
be hilarious if she showed up to
the queen is a crasher. I'm sorry, her reign of terror has ended. Try another door.
How about a Sporched or something?
Oh,
How about Sporched and Treasure Hunters together, and you walk in and they're just playing a hand of Caravan.
A large sports raid would be pretty cool, but no. So it's going to be a major legendary creature. A big boss has a chance of popping at the end. So...
Flea Soup.
Yes, Randy the Rad Roach is going to come out. It's Randy. Everybody loves Randy. No, you could get possibly an imposter sheep squatch showing up.
Oh, no way. Those are great.
You could get a behemoth. You could get something a little smaller, like say a Deathclaw. But you could also get Bigfoot.
Who?
4-star Bigfoot, Mr. Check Out My Feet Stays Large himself.
Oh my God.
God, I hope it's not a Sam Squamch.
Oh, I hope it's not a Sam Squanch.
Yes. Yes, Sham Squanch.
Bigfoot. He's always my favorite cryptid ever since I was a little kid. I love Nessie, love all the things. But yeah, Bigfoot was just always my
Yeah, so
favorite.
They're not friendly party crashers. They're nasty party crashers. But this looks kind of like a mini boss that you don't expect after you've already done a public event. It's only a random chance for them to spawn, but better than a Foshnok mask, I've been told. Better than a Fashnacht mask.
So they're not at a specific event. They only show up to
any public
They have
event.
a small chance of showing up at all the public events, but like
Yep.
less than 10%, you think?
I think it's probably around 10%. I think that seems reasonable. It's more than 5. I would. Okay, I don't know the percentage, but from what I have heard from people who have tested it, it is decent.
So this has been in the
plenty.
the test server thing?
It's been turned off and on in the PTS. Yeah, it has been on the whole time, but it has been tested in the PTS, and they've talked about it a bit. So we're talking a 4-star legendary here. We're talking chance to get extra 4-star gear, extra stuff, fun XP. So another thing to encourage people to go to these various public events, because for all you know, you're going to be whipping out your shotgun and fighting some more, and it's going to be a good time. Also, to distinguish. Yeah.
I was just gonna say I don't the other bad guys you were mentioning aren't such a big deal, but I really don't want to have to then battle an imposter sheep squatch after.
And you don't have to.
Event.
You don't have to. The public event will still finish. You'll still finish. You'll get your rewards. The event will be done. But someone might come at the end and show up. So yeah, this should be an optional tag. It shouldn't be required to finish the event.
Those guys are toughies.
I mean, they're fun though, right? Like
if enough people show up, if you and 3 other people are there, you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, to just take off. But no. Also, the imposter sheep squatch, for the actual event, it'd probably be more like if it was an imposter sheep squatch, it'd probably be more like the one in the cave for the Brotherhood mission. A little more doable.
Yeah.
You don't need to have any pylons.
Easier. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Pylons,
they're always vulnerable. I mean, a vulnerable sheep squatch just needs someone to listen to.
Abandonment issues.
Just give him a hug. That's what Rose would say. Just give him a hug.
Oh, poor baby.
Mm-hmm. So the new season is coming out Tuesday, and it is Rip Daring and the Cryptids from Beyond. It's the name of the season. Oh, sorry. Cryptids from Beyond the Cosmos. There's more words. It's a long title.
They used Rip Daring earlier, remember?
Yeah, we've had Rip Daring. I believe we've had 2 seasons with Rip.
2?
At this point. He's just, a cool character that they've done for the, Awesome Tales. And so this is season 24 coming up. And he is also on the, the season calendar there. So Backwards Update launches March 3rd. Bigfoot's Bash is going to be a mini event, something happening from March 3rd to March 10th. And then we get Invaders from Beyond and the Aliens. So that's all on the new community calendar. And that's why they're bringing Invaders from Beyond in already, is so that we have that. But along with that comes a new scoreboard. And let me tell you, this scoreboard is all Adventure Rip Daring themed or Alien themed, because from Beyond the Cosmos.
So is the Sasquatch only going to be around during the season? Like when the season goes away, will the Sasquatch go away forever?
No.
Poor
he's
buddy?
Being added.
Oh, okay.
So he's going to be part of the pool, and there may be more stuff around him than we realize. There may be, because not everything's been revealed yet. There may be an event around him. It may not just be a random chance to show up. He may actually have something centered around now, this whole Bigfoot's Bash that they mentioned coming up. Don't know what that's going to be. Excited to find out.
I want a Bigfoot costume.
The new board. Ooh, right. Absolutely. There's going to be a bloody space helmet and a bloody space suit, which is pretty cool. Yeah. None of these clean spacesuits everybody wants. We're going to have a dirty one, bloody one.
No one can hear you scream.
Starlight Drive-In theme, because they're also going for, the whole alien movie, creature movie kind of thing to it. There is a Bigfoot Stein display, but you know what? You don't just have to put your Steins on it. You can put anything on it you want. There is a healing arch. So we've had a rad arch forever. This is actually a healing arch, which is actually really cool looking. Just flipping through the seasons now. It is live on the website. It just went live, I believe, yesterday, but maybe earlier today. There is an alien display and a Daring Devil Pip-Boy paint. Oh, but speaking of Pip-Boys, one cool thing coming with the season that I saw, there's a new Pip-Boy display. In-game Pip-Boy display, so you can create and craft to show off some of your skins. Which, I don't know, I think that's pretty sick.
Say that again?
A Pip-Boy display that you can set on like a shelf. You can actually make a display on your shelf and show off your Pip-Boys, the ones you aren't wearing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fun.
Because, they're popular among Fallout fans in real life who have Pip-Boys. A lot of people have them up on a little display. So,
So
getting it in
made
game.
one in game. There you go.
Oh, Andrew, you've been waiting for this. You can get
Bated breath.
a faux raptor.
Oh, yeah.
You remember the weird eyeball thing in Vault 51? Get one of them.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
I remember you talking about it a lot when Nuclear Winter came out, so.
Give me one.
Get a curio cabinet, which is really cool. It looks a lot like my grandma's cabinet. I like it. You can get a cool framed house kit, which is essentially just the frame pieces of lumber for the house, but no actual walls, which it might not protect you as well, but it's cool looking. And let's see, beyond that, nothing else really jumping out at me. Some good titles. You can get Bigfoot, you can get Cryptid Hunter, some of that classic stuff. You can get space glasses. They ain't regular glasses, they're space glasses.
Ooh.
You get a film noir light that will turn everything it's shining on black and white, which is kind of awesome.
And it's shot from below.
Yeah. And finally, let's see, a mountain retreat home is the big, it's a prefab, but it's a very cool looking prefab. It's going to be one of the last things on the scoreboard. And that is where you get the Pip-Boy stand as well. Oh, and a glowing cat. I cannot forget the glowing cat. It's like a hairless cat, but glowing. It's a ghoul. It's a glowing ghoul hairless cat.
That's badass.
Right? I love it. I love it. So, all in all, cool looking stuff on the scoreboard for the season. Cool looking theme. I like Rip Daring, he's one of my faves. I'm suddenly forgetting the other girl I love. Who is the cool girl with the chronometer? What's her name? I actually started putting together a cosplay for her, and I'm suddenly forgetting her name. Feel so bad.
That glowing cat might be enough to draw me back in. That sounds darn cute.
Yeah. Oh, he is really, really cute. I love it. Yeah, it's Katie Inkwell I'm thinking of. Katie
There
Inkwell.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't believe I just, it's the whole initial thing. That's why I'm like, her name's Kate. But it's not Kate. Katie Inkwell. So anyway, I love
like
her.
KD
love
Lang.
Her. Right.
I always, until I saw that written down one day, I was like, oh, I thought her name was Katie.
Katie, exactly. And I knew it wasn't right, so I didn't want to say it until I verified what her name was. But Inkwell, I know.
Inkwell. Do you ink well? With the best of them.
Oh, I ink very well. I'm an excellent inker. Speaking of inkers, this is not on the Iguana Bits, but at this point, Jonah Loeb, the creator of the Deathclaw and many other Fallout creatures, etc., worked for Bethesda for years. His big graphic novel he's been working on, Day One. I believe it's Day One. But anyway, his big graphic novel he's been working on, he's nearly done with it, and it has moved to the inking stage, where he's got an inker and letterer going in there and doing all the cool lettering.
Oh, great.
And it's looking great. He sent some sample pages, and very, very exciting. It looks good. So
check that out.
Next up on the bits, I'll let you know when it's out. I think it should be out this summer, is the goal, I believe. And of course, we'll talk about it when it comes out. I already preset. I joined the Patreon, and back when it happened, or the Kickstarter, and got the collector's edition and a bunch of extras and stuff like that.
Nice.
So, looking forward to it. But Fallout 4 on Switch 2 released earlier this weekend.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. That's how on the radar I am right now.
Well, I talked about it last time on the bits. I don't know if I gave an actual release date. I think I just said this month. So it came out.
Yeah, I don't think there's a specific day.
It is. So the price is a little bit of an issue. They are not going full Nintendo price. They're not charging $80 for a cart, $70 or $80. But it is $60. So
which is unfucking reasonable.
I feel like for a 10-year-old game, it should be $40 at most, But it's coming to Switch, new system, and Nintendo has rules about that. I'm not saying don't blame Bethesda, but I equally blame Nintendo. I think at least as much.
Their games are ridiculous.
Nintendo. Mm-hmm. But it is the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, and that means so you have all the other content, but you also have all the Creation Club content they got. So the stuff that we've been paying an extra $20 for since November is now in the game on Switch. And you're not going to believe this, but It actually runs really well, I'm hearing.
Ooh.
I know several people,
All right.
personal friends who are playing it, who say it's smooth as butter.
Have they
I don't know if anyone have
gone
gone
to
downtown
the
yet.
east side of downtown yet?
Yes,
That's
that is the
exactly
thing.
what I was going to mention.
How's Haymarket? But they have made it to the regular, into the city, to Diamond City. One friend beelined to Diamond City just to see how it ran. And when he got there, it loads decent. It's not too slow. It runs smooth. Things aren't glitching. It's actually better than because Skyrim was released for the Switch 2. Right after the Switch 2 came out last year, and Skyrim, when did it come? Was it maybe they get it in November, December? I don't remember, but that did not run great,
Oh.
But this does. It runs very well. There
That's
was just some
interesting. I don't think I
stuttering and some
remember
issue
the
with claim and
Skyrim
everything.
problem. Interesting.
Yeah, well, Skyrim was fine on the Switch, and when it came out for Switch 2, they did a lot of improvements to it, and to make it run better, look better, all that. But it was a little more at first than the Switch could handle. Switch 2 could handle even. I think it had to do with some of the anniversary content, how that integrated in that, all the Creative Club stuff. But it hasn't been an issue for Fallout 4 from anyone I've talked to. So excited about that. Now, well, I'd say now's the time, but I'd say wait till it goes on sale. But then also it's Nintendo, so will it go on sale?
No,
could see it.
Nintendo doesn't do that.
I could see it dropping to 40 over time, being an older game.
Yeah,
But
and Christmas 2027, maybe.
Yep. So we got the backwoods, we got the update, we got the new season. It's all coming on the 3rd. There's more stuff with it. There was an AMA, Ask Me Anything, with some of the developers earlier today, but it was 1 p.m. and work was crazy. So sometimes I can listen to it while I work. I couldn't even listen to it this week. So new information coming out, I'll have later. But if you want to actually watch it, chances are good that Fargassier was there if you follow him. So he'll put it up on the YouTube or some of the biggest info. And the last thing I have on the menu, another little personal iguana bits thing. So the C3 Community Creation Convention is coming out. We have a date. The C3 is the online convention we do that focuses on mods for Elder Scrolls, Fallout series, and Starfield. So all Bethesda games. It's a modding convention. This will be the 3rd year. The last 2 years I've helped with it and stuff like that. This year it's not part of Fallout for Hope. We've kind of spun it off separately, but I'm still helping them organize it. It's going to be March 14th and 15th. That's Saturday and Sunday, from about 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. both days. Schedule should be published soon. We have 2 weeks. This weekend we're kind of locking things down, finishing the schedule. But I have it on good word that it'll be featuring mostly verified creators on Sunday. Here is the general list. So schedule may change, but here's some people we're showing. Eleonora is going to do a kickoff, and she's showing some of her stuff. We have Fallout Appalachia and Fallout Chicago showing their mods. We have a big survival mode overhaul for Skyrim they're going to show. Skywind will be there. That's the Morrowind and the Skyrim engine. Skywind will be there. There's a really cool looking mod called Shadows of the Old World that they're showing off. If you have seen any of that, you can also look that one up. There's some previews on YouTube that looks really cool. Then on Sunday is going to be a lot of mostly the verified creators and kind of people like the Merry Modding Days and Concord Stories, which some of you know them. They do a lot of mods for Fallout 4. They did a ton. Merry Modding Days is called because they usually release mods over the holidays, every day of Christmas, like an advent calendar for your Fallout install. There's also going to be the Fallout Upstate. Beyond Skyrim Iliac Bay will be that day. It's the Beyond Skyrim project. They're doing all of Iliac Bay. And a bunch of Starfield creators, like I said, are being added. I think Miss O will be there, Lee. And one thing to note, this is actually done raid train style on Twitch. So you don't need to, like for StarCon we did, you had to, get on Zoom and watch that way and register and such. Even though at this point, all the bits, or, a lot of them are on YouTube. But this will actually be a Twitch raid train both days. So we'll have a list of who's streaming it, when they are. I'll be hosting the Independent Fallout Wiki as always, and helping with a number of other things. So, yeah, going to be a good time.
Sweet.
Yeah. And that is it for the bits.
All right. That sounds great. Thank you for the bits. I think that is all I had for this evening, besides a couple of shouts on our way out the door. Was there any other stuff you wanted to bring up before we sign off for the evening, Jess?
Well, we got a couple of shouts that you got, but I got nothing else really. I mean, you know, we already talked Fallout food earlier with your pasta. and Ray's eating good too. Ray was at like a Korean Texas barbecue.
Yeah, I said he went to a Korean barbecue food truck, but there was hardly Korean at all even though there was a Korean chef.
I just opened Facebook and my freaking Nuka-Cola meme is the first thing I see again from it's being retweeted by Fallout the Bottle Cap this time. I mean, I say retweeted, not retweeted. They just
steal it.
They cut my name off.
Yeah, great.
We talked about it before. I'm glad to see it, but it's funny. It's the very first thing I see when I open Facebook. But I'm going over to check.
Punching you in the face. Hey, your algorithm is like, hey, I bet you she'll like this. You're like, yeah, I fucking
bet you like this. Yeah, I made it.
Asshole.
But he was eating. He said it was a Texas Korean barbecue. So he loves actual Korean barbecue as Korean style, but this was Texas barbecue with Korean flair.
Made by a Korean.
He said it was. Yeah, he said it was less Korean than regular Korean barbecue, but it was really, really.
He
good.
said there wasn't even any kimchi on the truck. Like, are you sure?
No
Korean?
kimchi. Oh, yeah. Them Texans don't love the fermented cabbage so much.
I guess not. Gotta go ferment that barbecue.
They just, sauerkraut maybe.
Fermented pulled pork. All right. Well, I just wanted to say happy birthday to Jeff. He gets shouts 2 weeks in a row. Jeff, I shout him out for playing drums last week. Big happy birthday to Jeff. I know he was going out to a comedy club and having fun tonight. So hope you had a good time, buddy, and happy birthday. Jess, you also had one.
Along those lines, yeah. When you mentioned it was Jeff's birthday, I just want to say happy birthday, my mom's. My mom's birthday was today. And I did send her a message, of course. Chatted for a bit like you do.
You got to.
Happy
birthday, Jess's mom.
And I actually have a couple of friends' birthdays today,
Nice.
Shout out to Jen, shout out many others. Our friend Dawn Sassley just had a birthday like 2 days ago. But anyway,
happy birthday, Dawn.
Shout out to all your birthday kids and whoever you are out there, whether we know you or not, whether you listen or not, but you won't know if you don't listen. Little kiss on the cheek. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, everybody. All right. I'd like to let everyone know that you can find Jess and all of her many projects at Sleep is 4T. Jess, thank you so much for hopping on the show this week.
And you can find my memes all over.
You can find people stealing her memes. Just go to the internet.
It's not stealing anymore. Memes are meant to be shared. It would crack me up. That's the first thing I saw. It's great. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's going to be a good weekend. Going to have fun.
I like to hang out in a... sorry, go ahead.
Just like no major snowstorm this weekend, hopefully.
Yeah, for the first time, right?
Thinking of everybody who got buried last weekend.
Oh, Lord. Goodness. Yeah. Digging out still. All right. I like to hang out in the Facebook group, and Ray and Jess tend to hang out over there in the Discord. I'd like to thank everyone for downloading this edition of the Fallout feed, and we will see you in the Wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the Roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the Wasteland.
You have to take your license, and then you have to steal some gum from the trash can next to this guy. And then you have to go by this cat, and you have to pluck some of the hairs from the cat. And you stick it to the license and make a fake mustache, okay? Make a fake mustache. Wear that mustache, then draw a mustache in Sharpie on the thing. So now you look like this guy whose license you stole.
Eating people isn't as bad as everyone makes it out to be.
Special?
I can't drug the wine to make anybody pass out.
Despite the brush with cannibalism, he's not able to answer the age-old question, do we really taste like chicken? The ominously named strange meat pie.